I had no idea it was 11 o'clock.
Ram was panicking there. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That is your girl, Dara. We are not wearing the same colors. That's only on the camera. Wait for everyone to come in from the other stream there, and then we'll do the shout out, let everybody know how much we love them. All right, it is Friday, and it is a long weekend Friday for my American people out there. All right, they're coming in, baby. We got Andrew, we got Pillsbury, we got Raghu, we got Cairo, Mr. Longshorts, Easy Trader. I see you, Pirate Genetics. Okay. Ganja Fire, Sebastian, Dude Rocks 420. A lot of marijuana references here. Cass M, Dad, Trader, Taxi Driver. What's up, Gorev? Alaric B. We got Jason Walcott. We got Damn. He says, yo, yo, yo. Crystal Ball is there as well. Yoel Reyna, Joe Finero. I was about to say Joe Flacco. Crystal Ball, Maz, Ahmed, and Want Action. That's an interesting one. What is up to everybody? Good morning, Adara.
Good morning. How are you today?
I can't complain. Everything is good on this side. I see some entries and on AMD there. Good luck.
Thank you. So I liked AMD because look at how we held this. This was also, I apologize for my voice. It's a little bit raspier today, but we're gonna get through it. So I just want to address the raspiness. But you know what you know what is actually also kind of raspy? AMD's attempts to get off of this 9 EMA. It's a little bit hoarse. It's not coming in with the full viciousness that I would love it to. But yeah, so we're just kind of rasping away here. We're bouncing around this 165.30. I got in. I wanted to get out if we got to 10s. We bounced off 16s. I said, Adara, add. So I did. I put the ad in Adara, I guess. And then I'm planning on getting some out at 165.50s. And AMD's like, well, I mean, I can do 165.46s, but everything other than that, I can't. I don't know. So I'm like, okay, AMD, that's cool. I want to be a little bit more AM decisive with my exit points today, so that is the goal. Then I would like pieces for dreams around 165.80. Will this position hold up? Time will tell. My average entry point right now is 165.24 because the position board, because I haven't taken an out yet. But hopefully AMD, talking to you, will have an out soon, and then it'll be on my position board. It's up to you, AMD. How are you doing?
I'm seeing what Big Kyle Burnett. What's up, Big Kyle? Oh, I didn't load up my stream deck. That was so anticlimactic, but we'll get to that. Big Kyle says, spy watching. Thanks, Ram. 529.25 to, I'm assuming 529.85 for the short. So shout out to Big Kyle there. 520. Okay, so just write that again, Kyle, because I think that was a little off. All right, guys, let's get right to business. We are talking about the measured move all week long, and today we're going to finalize the lesson by talking about how you can combine the measured move with other indicators. So let's get right to it. The allure of the measured moves in intraday trading is undeniable. But successful traders know the importance of confirmation, using multiple tools to validate their analysis. This lesson explores how to combine the measured moves with other technical indicators for stronger signals. So why does confirmation matter? I mean, you probably know the answer to this, but we're going to go over it anyway. Measured moves provide estimates, not guarantees, okay? The market can be quite unpredictable, as you probably already know, and relying solely on retracement levels can lead to costly mistakes. So to avoid that, we want to include some other stuff to help form our entire analysis. So confirmation from other technical indicators adds confidence to your trading decisions. So let's get to those most popular. So the popular confirmation tools that are usually meshed in with measured moves, first and foremost, the moving averages. Perfect, because we did an entire week on moving average crossovers last week. So moving averages, they smooth out price fluctuations. They reveal the underlying trend. That's kind of they're really what they're good for. They help show you a less jagged version of the price action, as well as they show you whether they're pointing up, sideways, or down, what the overall trend is. If a measured move aligns with a trend identified by moving averages, for example, the price approaches a support and a resistance level established by a moving average, like, you know, the 200 or the 50, the signal then is strengthened a little bit. So there adds confluence to the look for the measured move. In addition to actual moving averages, price action, support and resistance levels, so important here. These are areas, obviously we all probably are familiar with them, but I'm going to recite them anyway. These are areas where the price tends to bounce or stall. Sorry. If a measured move retracement coincides with a support or resistance level, it suggests a stronger zone for the potential entry or exit based on that trend. So all we're really trying to do here, and you see me talk about this before, is add that check mark next to the name. So I've got one check mark, say the moving average is pointing up. The measured move is showing me that it might be a nice idea to take a dip trade here for a long. Check, check, check. There's a support level at that area as well where it's dipping into. Another check mark. So you're trying to add as many check marks to the name as you can to help add that, that confluence. Good trade, Katina, man. Momentum indicators, also super important. We talked about these with the moving average crossovers last week. Specifically, we talked about stochastics and relative strength index. This week, no different. We're looking for confirmation. So these gauge the speed and the strength of the movements. If a measured move aligns with a momentum indicator signals, for example, the RSI is indicating overbought or oversold conditions near a retracement level, for example, it reinforces the potential for a trend continuation or reversal, whether you're going long or short. So that's what we're talking about here. And here is a great example of a measured move with, what's SR stand for?
So sorry, support and resistance.
Support resistance, flat top and RSI on the next two slides. So here we go. So we have the measured move, and it's basically showing you that it's bouncing near that upper trend line or that, sorry, not the upper trend line, the lower trend line for the move long. So it's nice when there is confluence there. And there's another one, this one, more resistance-based and bouncing off those levels. And these, the aqua, purple, and the blue, those are the retracement levels on the fibs. We talked a lot about that on Monday and Tuesday. So the measured move is calculated based upon a retracement level, which one you're taking is entirely up to you, whether it's 50, 31, or 68, whatever it is. You just got to make sure that you're using it consistently. So putting it all into practice, we're going to put this in a step-by-step order. So the first thing is you identify the trend. Use moving averages to make your job a bit easier, or the price action. If the price action is up and to the right or the moving averages are pointing up, you know what the trend is. It's an uptrend. And then step two, you're going to look for the price move. You're going to spot the price move. So you're looking for a significant price move within the established trend. So you're not looking for a move down if the prices were pointing up. You're looking for a move down maybe in the dip, but not a sustained move down. And then three, you're going to calculate the measured move. I'm not going to show you the calculation on this slide, but you can go back to the Monday and Tuesday lessons. They're included there. Okay, so you're going to apply a retracement level to estimate a potential support and resistance zone. So that's step three. And then step four, you're going to look for confirmation, which is the subject of today's lesson. You're going to look for signals from other indicators that support your measured move analysis. Let's look at some examples. So for an upward trend, you're doing as follows. So the price makes a significant jump. You already know what the trend is. The moving averages are pointing up. Then the price, boom, it makes a significant jump up. The measured move, after your analysis, suggests a retracement to a support level identified by a moving average. At the same time, the RSI at that level indicates an oversold condition. So this confluence strengthens the possibility of a buying opportunity. You see how we put all those check marks next to the name? Similarly, on a downtrend, the price plunges. You know the moving averages are pointing down. The 200's pointing down. The 50's pointing down. You do the measured move calculation. The measured move suggests resistance near a previous high. You look at the RSI. The RSI is indicating overbought conditions. This combination, again, strengthens the possibility of a selling opportunity. So you're looking to put it all together, hence why I saved it for the last day. You okay there, Rim Rim? Jeez. I know, she's coughing up a storm. All right, beyond the basics. So there's no one-size-fits-all approach here. You know that by virtue of the fact that you can choose a different retracement level. I chose 50, you chose 61.8, somebody else chose 38.2 or whatever it is, okay? So you have to be consistent in the retracement level that you use in your measured move calculation. So there's no one-size-fits-all approach here. It's going to be incumbent on you to practice it and see if it works with your method. Experiment with different indicator combinations to find what works best for you and your trading style. And don't overcomplicate things. Start with 1 or 2 reliable indicators as a confirmatory tool with the measured move before moving on to anything else. Don't get too complicated here. 1 or 2 should suffice. And backtest your strategy. I mean, you have likely access to a sim. I know on my brokerage I have one at work, I have one on my brokerage. There's free ones I know online. Trade Ideas has one. So like, it's not too complicated to get a sim. And then you want to see how your strategy works on that historical data and how it performs under different market conditions. A little bit challenging here because I know Trade Ideas only lets you backtest about 3 months. Some other platforms might let you backtest a little bit longer. I know somebody in the chat a few months ago, something was telling me that Thinkorswim lets you go back 6 months or something like that. That I can't confirm. I've never used Thinkorswim on a paid basis. And remember, guys, confirmation is not a guarantee of success by any means, but it significantly reduces the risk of acting on false signals. So by combining the measured move with other indicators, you'll make a more informed trading decision and strategy overall. Dara.
Yes, Sharif. We do love informed trading decisions over here.
I don't mind them.
On how to trade. Yeah, I mean, like, I could take them or leave them, but I'd rather take them. You know what I mean? But yeah, thank you so much to Sharif for putting together that lesson. Hope you guys learned a lot about measured moves this week, but not to fear. We will have 2 more times of this lesson later in the day. Also, I like that you mentioned Trade Ideas because shout out to Trade Ideas. They are having a special offer. It is their Memorial Day sale, guys, limited time. So apparently I don't know how to use a computer. There we go. Get it while you can. Your limited time Memorial Day sale. Use the code TVAnnual28 to save 28% on annual subscription. Shout out to the NOS boss and shout out to Trade Ideas. So definitely check that out, TVAnnual28. Look at all of these beautiful benefits you can get with your prescription, not prescription, subscription to Trade Ideas. To give you some trade ideas, to help us, you said, you know, we always like indicators and confirmations, so shout out to Trade Ideas. Not shout out to AMD. I'm going to have to, like, extract myself here because AMD pops a little bit. But what are you looking at this fine, what day is it, Friday? What are you looking at Friday?
I was getting fashion advice from Brian there in the chat there. Apparently he doesn't like my shirt, so we're disappointing Brian. Upset. I'm very upset about that. I don't know. Brian doesn't like it. You know, I have no idea. All right, Patty.
What kind of show is this?
I don't know. All right, guys, everything is absolutely flying here. Not everything, but I mean, Meta is really making the biggest move, and the future is on the way back. It looks like to 19,000. What a move up today on the future. We just broke through 18.9 like it didn't even matter now. HOD 18,916.5. Google's on the way up. So is the Cybertruck. The dead one ain't dead today, baby. The soft one is up 0.5%. Meta's the beast, though. Meta's up 3% at this level. It's knocking on the door of 480, about 15 pennies away there. 479.85 META. Wants that 500 and wants it bad. It looks like it's going back to that level. Really, the only dead one today is the ZON. The ZON has been stuck in a range here, 181 to the low side. Clearly, it's a 182 top, but there have been wicks. That IB high took us to 182, and just a little bit below that half, 182.5, but it has been a $1-ish range on AMZN since the start, and that hasn't changed. Pivot point resistance to the high side. Yesterday's close at 181.04 to the low side. I want to see if I can play this range. I missed it right when I sat down, 1045 here when I loaded it up. This was bouncing off yesterday's close. It didn't spend that long down there. So this candle over here, it spent maybe a whole few seconds over here because I didn't even have the opportunity to load it up. And here we go. It's coming right back into 182, 181.90. Now, here's the thing. The market's pamping here, right? So does Amazon catch some of that market strength and break through the range? So gotta be careful here because the market's really flying, and even though Amazon's been consolidative, it may not stay that way. I'm gonna be looking at Amazon to play the range.
I have some questions for AMD, and the number one is what's happening, AMD? I did go long. This is just a case of Adara, what are you doing here? So I got long. I was like, oh, I like the long. I added to the long. Things were going great. We couldn't break 50s. We got below 165s. I got out. Bye-bye. Then I got the short idea because I actually flipped short. I felt really confident about the short. I was like, great, perfect. Please just punch. Got short 165. 23s, took out 23 pennies, please just punch. Then I added to the position, things were going great. Then I did not manage it properly, we broke above. Shout out to anyone in that AMD long, because that's a great look. But I will not be shouting out AMD myself, because I should have just taken everything out at the bottom of that, that would have been fine. But the thing is, you have to have conviction in the trade you have. And I really want to say as well, I want to shout out Sean, because he was kind of telling me, it's better to just kind of commit to what you want to go 100%. I committed to the AMD short. What I should have done is just get out earlier, and things would have been okay. But it's all good in the hood. Actually, that reminds me, how's Robinhood doing?
Oh,
I don't even know.
Dara.
Oh! I like this Robinhood. I literally pulled this up just because of what I said, but actually, look at the support resistance flip on 1977. Pop. We drop. We bounce off the 90 MA. Pardon?
Shut them down, open up shop?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh.
But yeah, Robinhood, an interesting look. I think that clearly we're pretty strong on the day. That reminds me, someone else wanted to look at, I almost said Donkey Kong, DraftKings. Honestly, just kind of steady bounces here off the 90 MA and VWAP. I think we could, we'll have to see if we break out here. I think we're having a little bit of a chop and churn like what we did at AMD. And we know how AMD resolved to the upside. So we're going to have to wait and see if DraftKings will be the king for the Bulls or the Bears. Right now, though, we are up 2.5%. Looks like we could do a little chop and churn to the upside for DraftKings. But I see you have taken the Zon.
I have. I got in the Zon. We're going to pack our patience here. We're going to have to give this a little bit of room, guys, because the market's really, strong at the moment. So this could break through the level. I'm looking for a dip into below that 182. I want to see if we straddle 182 as support at these levels. So packing my patience in the Zon. Already wet my beak there on the break of 182. So we'll see if this one breaks. I already put my stop through the break of 21. 182.21-ish is going to be the end of the line for this short. If it breaks, it breaks. And then, comes back in, we'll get back in on that. So in the money right now, let's leave that. Let's look at something else. Gorev, Dell on a decent pullback, made all-time highs today on a great volume. Could be a decent long from these levels. Say no more, Gorev. We will load up Dell right now. So DELL. Have a look at this bad boy. So we're going to start with the daily. Yes, all-time highs, man. Wow, Dell's been on a rampage lately. Well, I mean, Jensen had the dude sitting right there at the event, right? Basically told him, go to Dell for service. Didn't say anything about SMCI, by the way, at that
Jensen
event.
had the dude as the quote of the year.
Yeah, well, the CEO dude.
No, I know. I just love the way you worded that.
I don't know what's the CEO of Dell called.
I don't even know. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Let's find out. So he's not like Sharif, are you calling me the dude?
He's the dude. He's the Dell dude, right? No, seriously, though. Okay, so let's have a look here. Rounded bottom coming in here, Gorev. Interesting look at that 10 period. Comes into the 10 period on the 5, and then we get the wick shimmy a little bit below 164. But it is putting in incrementally higher lows and higher highs for that rounded bottom, as the boss always talks about there. So not a bad look. Yeah, a bit of a lower high here, too. A bit of a topping tail candle. Let's put in Dell on the side chart here. So that we can keep tabs on the current price action. Below 165 right now. Let me know how this goes, Gorev. I mean, I could definitely be persuaded for a deeper retracement at VWAP, something a bit more established. But I am a little concerned here with trying to get it in on the 10 period with no catalyst today for Dell. Just make sure. So they report soon, by the way. Let me get you that. Let me get you that real quick here when the report is. Okay. So May 30th, guys, after the close, 5 p.m. it says. That could be wrong. May 30th, I believe that is Wednesday?
That is Thursday.
Thursday, thank you, Dara. Yes, so Thursday after the bell, DELL is going to report. So keep tabs on that.
After the Dell.
After the bell Dell. Brad Oldman, GME, retesting VWAP upside. Adara LePage, can you look at this one? Absolutely. Let's have a look. He asked both of us. Well, just since
I was confused, when you said I was.
Yeah, he asked both of us. All right, here we go. What I see here, Brad, is lower highs. and I don't like that look, okay? Not for the long. It is above VWAP, and you could say it has a bit of an aggressive double bottom here, possibly bouncing up that 17 3/4-ish area. For confirmation on a possible skewed double bottom here, I need an 18 2/3 break and hold. Otherwise, to me, it's lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Yeah, and you guessed it, another lower high there. So, yeah, I'm going to stay away from GameStop, but let me know if this one breaks. In fact, you don't even have to let me know. I'm going to put my own alert. We'll know if this one approaches that 1865 area, which is the HOD on the day. Go Amazon. So Amazon nicely in the money now as it breaks through 182, topping tail candle through pivot. So I packed my patience on this one, and I'm going to continue to pack it. This isn't good enough. I want more.
He wants more, Amazon. He doesn't just want express delivery. He wants express delivery and a gift.
Brendel gets same-day delivery because he lives downtown. I apparently don't live in Midtown, which is fine, but I don't get first-day delivery.
I like
Same-day delivery.
That jive at Sean as well. So basically what happens is Sean and Sharif have an ongoing rat-a-tat back and forth over whether or not Sharif lives in Midtown. I don't know why this is a thing. It is a thing, and it's happened at least since I've been here. So this is like, guys, this is an ongoing, I don't want to say beef because it's not a beef. It's an ongoing little
it's funny, yeah.
It's a fun back and forth, yeah.
Exactly.
It's all love over here. It's just really funny that you had to get that dig.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, so but hopefully Amazon gives you your same day delivery because this Amazon stock doesn't care that you live in maybe Midtown.
It doesn't, Adara.
It just wants you to do well, hopefully. So yeah, so I want to talk about my Tesla short because people may have seen that on the position board and rightfully gone, this is so proud of the risk management here. Like, look at this. I got short.
Hey, you did it. What do you need to do?
Thank you. I got short 178.80s, right? We get to 179. That was where I wanted to get out. I get out. Jumps a cool 20 pennies. I said, Tesla, I don't know how I got out of this alive, but thank you. Thank you, Cybertruck. Thank you, Roadster. You went 0 to 100, and I jumped out real quick. Shout out to Drake.
Hey.
But yeah, so let's see. Oh yeah, PDD. Okay, finally a trade that is like going okay-ish. I'm gonna get out. No, I don't want to get out here. I don't have a huge position, so I literally can't. Actually, you know what, Adara? Yes, I am gonna get out here. You might be like, why, Adara? I thought you were trying to stay in things longer. I am, but this, I recognize that I got short after an insanely bullish candle. We clearly have some support at 160.50, and we're kind of bouncing off the 90 MA. So I see those three things. I say, Adara, take your 50 pennies, thank PDD, and get out. So happy with that trade. I'll take this either direction. I think there's some stuff in PDD for sure. Also, to be fair, I did have a successful AMD short briefly, but then I gave up literally all of it and then some, so I don't know if that counts. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good read in AMD today, so I'm probably going to, not be involved. But really proud of the management in Tesla. Sometimes if you can't trade well, you can be proud of yourself for how you managed it and for how you got out. So I think that matters to some extent. Brad Oldman saying Swin's starting to move. So let's see if... is it going to be sink or swin? Yeah, so this one was crazy all day yesterday. Looks like it wants to have a crazy day as well today. But I mean, I don't know. I think it could be interesting if we reject off that 530. I just feel like this one with no catalyst and all of the halts yesterday, I don't know if I trust it. You know, you don't want to go swimming with sharks, right? So you don't want to go swim with sharks. I don't think you want to swim with sharks either. So I think SWIN could be a bit of a tricky fellow. Meta as well, I do like, I don't know what I like on Meta, but I like the idea of this 480 rejection is tantalizing because also if you look at the daily chart, oh my gosh, I was looking at this earlier today and I was like, Adara, 480 is not going to come into Meta today. This doesn't matter. Support, resistance, 480. I like it. If we have a clear 480 rejection, I'm going short, but someone had a little flipsy-do on it.
I did. I flipped onto this one because it broke above the level. I put a beak wetter out at 30, but I'm going to keep a tight stop here because Zon is in a range. So I was looking, like I said, I was worried that it might break out of the range because the future was headed higher. But it looks like we're going to dance with 18.9 a little bit. So I'm going to get out of this if it breaks 10s, which is awfully close. We'll risk 13 pennies. So this will bring me back to flat on the name here on Amazon if I get stopped out through the break of 10s. But everything coming back down a little bit, what I want to look at, I want to get out of this trade so I can look at Meta. Because Meta's coming into the 10 period. It hasn't been at the 10 period in quite some time. So let's go ahead and put this one to get out of that if it does break. And I'm just going to go like that so that I can just deal with Meta at these levels. Meta, the point of this trade is to look for a possible retracement into the 10 period here on the 5. Meta's been very, very strong. So I'm a little concerned here that the 10 period, but we're not that extended away from the 10 period. So usually when we get really extended from the 10 period, I get concerned. We weren't too extended from it. 477 and 3/4 is where the 10 period's hanging out on the 5. So let's go ahead and look at that. Let me just get this out of the way here. Oh, goodness gracious, good God. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and look at this level. So I did get stopped out of the zone there as it did break through 182.10. So I'm a little bit negative on it now, which is fine. So I'm going to go ahead 475, and we're going to put that there. So we'll sit at 475, and then I'll give it maybe 70s or something like that. So we'll sit there on META. Daryl, send it to you.
Yeah, so I switched on Tesla, and Tesla was like, oh, it looks like I got it along way too early. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, Tesla, I was like, if we get below 178, 80s, I'll get out. We got to 80s, I got out. I was like, cool, it's fine. Then Tesla's like, ha, 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 what do you mean? And keeps bouncing back. But it's fine, you know what I mean? I didn't have a clear read on this. I tried to short 80s earlier. If the 80s do form as a short, I'll get back in the short because I do think, for whatever reason, I feel more confident in Tesla short. But you're like, Adara, Tesla's up 3%. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, today I'm like a little, you know, we're trying to trade at 100%. It's a Friday, you know, we are a little bit raspy in the voice and raspy in the brain, and we're gonna make it happen as much as we can here. So I'm aware my reads aren't gonna be the best today. I'm gonna try to mitigate that as much as possible. Should have kept shorting PDD 162. It's all good in the hood, not in Robinhood, but in PDD. Maybe also in Robinhood. But yeah, I think PDD I seem to have the best read on for some reason, so I'm gonna stick with that. Other names I'm watching, I also find Meta to be fascinating. I also had the SPY up. Shout out to Big Cal Burdett. I don't know if you're spying anything on the SPY. Big Cal Burdett. But my SPY look is I spied this chop and churn 528, 527.25, and SPY's like, well, just because you want a range, that means I will fly. And I was like, okay, cool. But what if you bounce off 528? Oh yeah, did that like a cool hour ago. Now it's a, you know, $2 up. But shout out to anyone who's trading this. That short off this 530.20 top is great. If we come into some kind of range in the SPY, it is on my SPY. I almost said it's on my SPY chart. My SPY chart. It's on my side chart. But I might spy something on it. Also, happy to go to the Tesla long where I did. Weirdly, I don't know why Tesla, like I can't manage AMD to save my life, but Tesla and I are getting along great. So this is certainly opposites day this Friday. I love it. How's Meta going?
Just got in now, so we'll see if it holds at the 10 period stops already in place. It's gonna have to hold the $0.50. Otherwise, we're gonzino off this. Meta's a monster. This is a 10 period retracement attempt. The future is at 18.9. We'll see if it gets that bounce off 18.9, but you know, we've definitely been dancing with that 19,000 level. You think maybe 18.9 might be a level of support. We'll have to wait and see. So long at 76s right now. I'm seeing 70s show up on the ask, but it's going to have to hold these levels. And Meta is a bamboozler, so we'll keep eyes on this one. META long at this level. What else is moving here? Tesla also at the 10 period right now. Let's load up TSLA, because it is kind of doing very similar things to META here. 10 period retracement on the 5 coming into about 178.5. That's generally where the 10 period retracement is. A smidge above, a smidge below. This one coming in fast and furious. Where could you give this one to? There's price action, bless you, Neil. Price action support, I believe, at 78s. So if this one breaks through the $0.50, I'd look for 78 possibly as a level of support. But we're going to have to hold up 18.9. I think I did get stopped out of Meta there. Yep. Out of that one for a 26-penny loser as it just dipped below the $0.50. But that might not be the end of it. If it holds up at this level, I'll get right back in. So I'm going to get back in actually into both Meta and Tesla at this level. So we'll go ahead and get in on, whoa, oh, yes, okay. We'll get in on Tesla here as well because it's holding up the $0.50 here as well, Adair.
I like that. I hope that Tesla is not stressful to you. I hope it is Besla. I hope you have lots of successla. Also, AMD, you might be like, Adara, you just wax poetic here about how you can't read AMD. And I was like, but if I like a level, I think it is like almost more tilted to not trade it because I had a bad trade. You know what I mean on it before? Then like, if I like the level, ignore my past bad trades. Also, one of the trades was good. I just, managed the rest of it poorly. But it's like, if you like a level, just take your level that you like with smaller size. That's what I did in AMD. That was foreshadowing. So yeah, so I like this trade right now. We're holding beautifully. Also, I was gonna get out if we break below 165.80. So you know what AMD does? It shows me that it can hold 165.80s. We get there and we bounce, and I said, AMD, whew, this is beautiful. You're AM decisive. You're AM definitive. You're having support. I love this. I don't know if we're gonna hold for a flat top break because it's me, but I should have added at 80s, but I didn't because I was like, have not had the best read in this name historically throughout the day, but I do like this. I want, we're gonna get out part of the position here around 40s. I'm okay with that, I can live with that. And then we're gonna save, we're gonna keep a third just in case, to see what's shaking over here in our pal AMD. Speaking of AMD, Michael Westrick was looking at AMC. So let's see how AMC's doing. He's saying that if we hold $5 support, we could fly. Oh, or breakthrough $5 resistance. This could be interesting. We've got bounces here off the 9 EMA. Now we're consolidating. I think this 499 area could be very, very interesting for AMC. Yeah, I see what you're AMCing here for sure. I think we are coiling up to something. But again, with AMC, we do have a little bit of a drop in volume here over the last few candles. And it can be a skosh bamboozling, I think, by nature. So we're going to have to wait and see what AMC does. But I think, thank you for bringing that one up, Michael Westrick, because I was not paying any attention to this one. Let's take a look as well. Coinbase says Slugga. Slugga wants to look at Coinbase because he says Coinbase 240 could happen. I mean, this is a great look. If you're involved in this, shout out to you. I don't have to say hope you print because you have printed for sure if you were in this. Look at this. This bounce, we get this little bull flag. Then coin like, oh, I actually want more. Push to the upside. Continuing to see these kind of rest at support and resistance. This thing is a great look, not one that I feel comfortable entering. Not super spready, but just, this Coinbase can move with the viciousness. But this, and you know what's crazy about 240? It's 240. It's clearly a resistance level on the daily. I think if we break above this with the viciousness, I totally see what you're seeing, Slugga. This could be a home run for Coinbase. And I think we have a lot of Coinbases for this 240 level, especially previous resistance on the daily. I like it. And as Sharif always says, hope you print. All about the Coinbase train, says Slugga. Yeah, sounds like you are, so shout out to you. How are you doing?
Good. We're like 25 pennies in the money on Tesla, but I'm going to get stopped out, looks like here, for the remaining balance. I took double the position in my Meta trade accidentally. This was not, this was a fat finger on Meta. So I'm long 61s, is printing 46s. I wet my beak on 89 print there from a 61, so I had a bit of a winner on it. Now I've put my stop through the $0.25. It's gonna have to hold above the $0.25 for the remaining amount. This, again, I didn't plan to have this size, but it's still relevant, not relevant, it's still valid, the trade here, because it really hasn't given way, I don't think, at nice, go up Meta, you punk. Sorry, Adair. I always scare Adair there.
I wasn't prepared for it to be a punk.
Well,
if it's a punk, you have to be honest with it. Sure, if you can't mince words with it. So I understand.
But it's right back down, no. All right, so we'll pack our patience there on see if Meta can hold up at the 10 period. Tesla is up into 70s. I think I'm just going to let this one go on Tesla. I want a possible whole dollar touch. Tesla on the way up here into the 80s. Good move up. Here's a 50 penny winner on TSLA as we took that 10 period, but it looks like we will take the L on META. It's coming back down into the $0.25 now, and there it is. Now we're out of Meta. So now we're negative on the day because of this Meta trade. Really, really frustrated with that. Should have done a lot better on this one. Definitely took too many shares here, excuse me, at this level accidentally, of course, but that's my fault. All right, Chase Bands, do miss out on Coinbase, may make $3 or more. Do miss out?
Maybe it's supposed to be don't.
Don't miss out? Or maybe they do, maybe they're trying to troll us. Let's have a look at coin. So Coinbase today up 2.93%, rejecting off 237 right now, but it's a beautiful move up. Sorry, I said 2.93. No, that was Meta. Coinbase is up 8%. 7 and 2/3, 7 3/4 is changing by the second here. A lot of volatility. I see everything except Ethereum itself is up on my crypto watch list. You got Bitcoin up 1 3/4, MicroStrategies 4 1/3, Coinbase, as I said, 8%, Mara 7 3/4. My boy Big Patty Ice had one hell of a short on Mara today. Saw that one. Riot up 5.5, CleanSpark almost 6, Hut 5.5 as well. So really only the Ethereum coin itself in negative territory, 1 3/4, likely a sell the news event after we heard a lot about Big Gary G and his boys over there not wanting to approve it. All right, so happy that I got at a Tesla at that area in front of 179 because it absolutely dumped at those levels and now well below the entry that I had there at $0.33 coming in now into 178, still above the 10 period. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is Meta. We talked about 10 period retracement. Now we're going to look for a 20 period retracement. I'm going to go long again on this monster. I'm going to sit in front of 476s to defend the 20 on the 5. See if we can get something and get back into positive territory over here on said name, 476. I'm going to sit, let's sit at 10s just so that we get filled if it makes its way down there. Dip trade set up on Meta, 476.10 a dare.
So yeah, I mean, shout out to you on Tesla. The second you said you got out Tesla at 80s, we know I tried to short 80s earlier. We know I love it. So I said to Dara, you know, Sharif just got the long there. How about you take Tesla to the short side? Yeah, I took 40 pennies on this with the rest of my position. Took the rest of it out, 25 pennies. So pleased as dang punch on this Tesla. And I'm really proud of what I did in Tesla and AMD. Not because like whatever they were, I don't care about the P&L. I mean, the P&L is nice too. But it wasn't about that for me. It was about I had levels I liked and I just could not execute on either Tesla or AMD earlier. But if you see those levels come back, it's about conviction. Sean always talks about conviction, and I had conviction on Tesla still, so I said to Dara, you owe it to yourself to take the trade. Same with AMD, which was an AM disaster earlier today. I was putting the massacre for the M in AMD. It was just absolutely massacred disaster. I don't know, making a new name. But, oh, it's ranging now. But yeah, so I could have, I wanted initially 66.39s. We got to 38s, dropped. I was like, cool, I just got out of 22s because I didn't like what I was seeing on the book. But yeah, proud of this trade. AMD has been known to bounce at 80. And when I say has been known, I mean like today from my watching. Take that as you will. But yeah, let's see how AMD does. Looks like we could be actually trying to find that. If that 80 flips from support to resistance, and it clearly was resistance earlier, I'm going to be playing this. What I'm trying to do over the past few days that I think has been good for me is focusing on a couple names on levels I really like, playing those levels to the hilt, till the wheels fall off, till the stage lights go black, till you get kicked out of the theater, till they're like, you know, we got a mop up here. That is what I want to do. And by that, I use that metaphor to mean like until the levels don't exist anymore, I'll play them. That's what I want. AMD, I can't tell if you're going to hold or resist here. Okay, and it decides to hold. Thanks, AMD. But that I'm watching for. PDD, I should have kept taking this short. But you know what? I still can. That's the great thing about stocks is, unlike with M&M's Lose Yourself where you only have one shot, do not miss your chance to blow, sometimes stocks will give you multiple opportunities. They're not just opportunities that come once in a lifetime. So as much as I think that PDD 160 break could be a spicy short, I'd rather take it if I have another area of resistance to get involved in than just hop in all willy-nilly. So I like that. AMD's maybe giving me something. Tesla's maybe giving me something. I like that you and I took Tesla both directions. Yeah. And I'm happy. Like, go team.
Absolutely. You literally took it the area where I got out. 18.9 just broke, guys. We're below 18.9 now on the future. Let's see if we do the wick shimmy here, Ram, as this is now below that critical 100-point level, 18.9. This is an obvious flat top there, 18.919. Now coming into the 10 period on the 5 on the NQ June contract. I've set up a dip trade both on Apple and on Meta. I'm looking to defend the 20 period on Apple and on Meta. So I've put my dip trade in mid-60s for Apple because that's where the 20 period showing up, and I'm looking to defend that 476 whole dollar level on META because that's where the 20 period is on the 5 there. So looking to get into both of these. Apple looks like it's putting in possible hammer candle here on the 5, which may not make it down into my level. The low on that candle is 73. I'm sitting at 65s over here, and now it's curling back up as the future gets a bit of a bounce on the NQ 5-minute time chart. It's holding up at the 10, so that may prevent some of these ones for coming down into my dip trades. Yeah, Meta's going now without me. Apple's going without me, so they're both not coming into the 20 period. This is the area that Michael Noss called the cloud today. The area between the 10 and the 20, right? And he was like talking about this area, how, you know, he shades it in, obviously, or whatever moving averages he was using. This space between them was kind of this buying zone that he said, right? Which actually worked well with our moving average lessons from last week because we talked about those areas being buying zones as well. The only difference is really I wait just a little bit above the moving averages rather than waiting in the zone like as he talked about. So great look today from the Noss boss, always adding to our arsenal of knowledge every time he comes on Mondays and Fridays. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, Michael Noss, chartered market technician, comes every Monday and Friday on our show. Do you have the trade ideas thing there?
We do.
Yeah, amazing, because it's perfect. We're talking about the Noss boss. He works for Trade Ideas, and that's the offer that they have for us at the moment, guys. Memorial Day sale, baby. You get up to 28% off your annual subscription. That's a cool $600, $598 savings on your premium annual. That will expire May 31st. Get it now, or you're going to miss out. Make sure to use the code right there, TV Annual 28. That's TV Annual 28. And you guessed it, to save 28% off that annual subscription. That's the most on the nose code ever.
Oh,
Annual
yeah,
and 28,
fair.
right? Like they were both pretty obvious. The soft one is going here, guys. New high a day now on Softy as it enters that 430 territory. It's knocking on the door. 429.93, got one hell of a hammer candle there. Sorry, one hell of a bull candle there. And it just absolutely popped up from 428, mid-80s, right into that 430 area. So keep your eye on the soft one. Everything's curling up here. And neither of my dip trades on Meta or Apple filled. That's a little frustrating. So now I'm going to have to chase them if I want to get in. Let's keep eyes out on these ones and look for some other trades.
I was actually going to say, I know more on the nose code. So I remember when I did retail, we had a September, like a spring or a fall sale, right? So it was like September 21st, the start of fall. So they put up these signs and you get 21% off because it's September 21st.
I like that.
Right, but the thing is too, they put up all these signs. We thought this was going to go on for a week. No, it was only one day. So they sent us all these signs. You only got 21% off on the 21st.
It's a waste of time.
That's
and
what
waste
I'm
of
saying.
paper and cardboard,
right?
whatever
so that,
else.
To me, when you said that, I immediately thought of the on the nose 21% off.
There's more
for the 21st sale. But yeah, I tried to take an Apple short. Again, proud of the management. If not proud of the trade, proud of the management. You might be like, Adara, why would you go short Apple here? Fair question. We did have that nice move down. I did notice we were kind of struggling by the skin of our teeth to hold on to that 189.90. So I said, Adara, try the short. I considered which way do I want to play this. Thought about it. I said short. Risk 10 pennies. Didn't work out. On to the next one. As Obi says, where's the next trade? Right now, I don't have an answer for you. That PDG 160 broke down without me, and that's entirely my fault. My AMD range still kicking with lower highs, so AMD might be my next AM decision here. That's what we're going to get involved in next. But I do like this AMD, Sam, I am. And I think that 166.80 base is great. I just don't know if I want to short this in case we do pop up. It's a new high of days. I want to see decisively lower high. And I also want to see what Sharif's looking at.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the small cap gappers. I was just getting Neil's attention for Lee Auto because we were talking about that in the morning. All right, guys, here is what I'm looking at in small cap gapper world, baby. OKLO, this is a holdout from yesterday. It's definitely not the biggest mover on the day, but it's still got a very valid chart pattern, as you can see. This is yesterday's price action. It's kind of a rounded bottom that we've been putting in here. Shout out to the NOS boss. Look at that. We kind of based out there on the 22nd, a little bit higher on the 23rd, even higher on the 24th, which is today, dealing with that $9 area, 896 HOD on OKLO. Here's what I'd do. I'd be looking for a 10 period or a 20 period retracement. It's shown its propensity to bounce off both today. Right now, it just got a quick bounce off the 10, and then around 11:05, 11:10, it did a bounce off the 20, and then here was the first touch at the 20 at 10:10 a.m. this morning. So OKLO, good chart pattern, definable pre-market highs, runner from yesterday. It's a good, decent, not bamboozling. I don't want to say that so I don't jinx it, but it doesn't seem as bamboozling as some others. ONMD, this was numero uno gap scanner on the day today, up 47% at the moment. It's done about 100 million shares on the day. Let me give you the deets on this one, even though it's not tradable under my system. $51 million market cap, and the float is 17.7 million shares. It's got to get up above 250, which is where VWAP is hanging out for me to trade this monster. Otherwise, I don't want this one at all. So ONMD, you'll keep eyes on it. This one looks awfully good though. MRUS, not a name that I'm familiar with. Mirus, okay. Mirus NV, whatever that is. What are they? Netherlands-based biotech company. All right, so they're a biotech company. They're the bigger company, guys, at $3.5 billion market cap. Looks like this one may have had earnings after the bell. Let me just look quickly here to see what the hell this was. Oh, here, it's a headline. Announcement publication of an abstract on pets, so whatever the hell that is.
Cancer thing.
Yeah, exactly. And so good catalyst there for this one. It ran in the aftermarket yesterday. Nice move up there. What time did that drop? 5 o'clock exactly, and then we continue that move up. Straddled the 10 earlier, hasn't made its way down to the 20. I'd be maybe looking for a 60 dip and bounce. VWAP hanging out at 57 1/3. MRUS, really good looker on the day. A bit more expensive and definitely not a small cap gapper. Neil mentioned this one already. LUCY, Lucy baby. She be going, she be doing things up in this, you know what. Let me just put in the ticker real quick on the side. 237% for the 63 penny name, and this one hasn't shown up on my scanner because it's below 85 pennies at the moment, but that doesn't matter because it looks awfully good. And all the technical levels have checked out. It bounced beautifully off the volume weighted average price off that retracement. It really got extended away from the 10 period NV once it printed that 67 print, but it comes down, holds 47 in front of VWAP, and then is curling right back up again. I'd personally be looking for a dip trade on this. Look for it off a key area of support. If none of the moving averages or VWAP are jiving with the current price action, look for something price action based. So LUCY. Let me give you the details on this one. I didn't give you guys the deets. I don't know if Neil did this morning, but it's $11 million market cap. It's done 383 million shares on the day, and there's the new high on Lucy, 72 pennies. This one just printed. This one looks like it's on its way to $1. So it's a $12 million market cap now. 11.2 million share float, and let's load up trade ideas. This is the trade ideas, guys, that you guys can get 28% off on. Let's find out what the short float is. Negligible, less than 0.5% of the 11 some odd million shares float there is shorted a dare. So don't really expect any short squeeze on this one, but definitely moving parabolically here without the squeeze.
Yeah, nice look there. Also, you know, less of a nice look.
What?
AM Diesel.
AM Diesel?
So yeah, so what happened was the short was the right idea. I got out because we broke above 40s. Shloobity-shloobity-shoob, whatever. Story of my life. You got to do what you got to do. And then it basically was a fake out because the second we get to 40s, we come back down. So I was like, I mean, you could have told me that, AMD. You didn't have to like fake everyone out. You could have whispered. You could have written out on a note. You could have been like, oh, we're going to fake out. I'm like, okay. But yeah, I'm going to cancel this order because like I said, I want to keep playing this range. I think we're getting tighter. I think we are at some point consolidating for that break at the top. I have plans for that. I know you might be like, Adara, you're clearly like having a questionable read on AMD. Why do you keep trading it? Because I keep seeing stuff I like. And I'm managing the trades pretty well with the exception of this short earlier. So it's like, if I'm seeing stuff I like, if there's still reason, if I still have an impetus, I owe it to myself, within reason, with good risk management, to do what I can and to get involved. I think, anyway, that's my take. So let's see if that's the right take. I think 95s, it was originally 80, but the fact we're making these higher lows too, on the book anyway, is something I find quite appetizing. We're gonna get involved at 95s, and we want, you guessed it, all the smoke. I did have a bit of a fat finger, so we got involved slightly higher than we wanted to, but it's all good. It was within like 5 pennies of where I wanted to get involved, like 7 pennies. But yeah, I mean, I'm okay with this position. If we get to 80s and bounce, I may add at 80s, but I say may because I don't want to like, you know, commit to that. However, if I see something I like, I'll get involved. And AMD was like, Adara, I will be your friend. And I said, great, let's shake hands on it. AMD, 10 pennies in the money, dime club. But let's see what's going on. Any thoughts on APLD? Let's see. 1 million shares, okay. Not a lot of float for a small capper, 1.6 million shares. I think, you guys know I like ranges. I'm seeing something kind of rangy around this way here. Look at that bounce at 460, that top at 464, but a lot of wicks that are suggesting this movement could be down. So I want to see what happens here next. Solar seems to be emerging theme, says West, y'all. Let's take a look at FSLR. And let's see, because I know FSLR has been kind of the king of solar as of, look at this.
Man, it's a monster.
Bounce. That 268, support resistance was a great look. And First Solar is like, well, you can't use that as a level though, because now I'm at like 276. So I was like, okay, First Solar, but First Solar trying to be in first in the solar names as well. So shout out to First Solar being a pun in and of itself. How is your meta going?
Good. We just wet our beak on some 50 cents there, and then it dropped below my entry now. So it's printing 27s. I'm long at 31s. The stop for the remaining amount, which is very small, is going to be the break of 476. I've got it there in the high 47590. So meta really, it just doesn't have follow through here. And I was actually like almost $1 in the money there, but so briefly, this one comes right back into my area as quickly as it made its way up. So quite frustrating there. And there I just got stopped at a meta. So I'm not going to trade meta anymore today. It's not bouncing off the 20 period as I anticipated. Even though I was able to take some out on this one, the remaining ends up being a bit of an L there. So yeah, we'll look for something else. So Tesla is now coming back into that same 20 period moving average. We had good price action support there as well. So this 178 level on Tesla, which is also the 20 period, I'm looking for a hold up there. It's price action support. It's the whole dollar level. We had a crest in and around that area, but it's breaking down below it. So if it's not going to respect it, it's not going to respect it. I'll be looking next there for possibly at 177, maybe a little bit above a quarter, sorry, below a quarter, maybe at the fifth of a dollar. That's where the volume weighted average price is on TSLA, as it really does break that whole dollar level by about 20 pennies now. TSLA on the way back down off that 179.50 touch. What is dancing right now and looking like it might become consolidated, where's my Apple chart? There it is this 190 10-ish on Apple. So it's a bit of a top right now, even though it had like a nice little double bottom there through the 20 that we didn't get printed on. But there it is. So very similar flat top here. The highest being 190 and a quarter, or 190.29, but not really being able to break through that. Higher lows though, possibly maybe a dip trade off the 10. You can scalp like 20 pennies that way because the 10 is sitting at 190. On the 10 period EMA on the 5. We'll keep an eye out for those ones. Oh, Meta, you unbelievable. Yeah. It puts in a nice hammer candle there. Stop me out. Where did this dip to, by the way? It dipped into 73, so I had it in the mid-90s. I can't be upset about that because, you know, well, that's the way it works. Oh, Ram, I didn't even notice I didn't have my Unity client logged in.
I also wasn't logged in.
Yeah. She probably... Did you even talk to us? She probably didn't even talk to us. We're not popular enough.
Say that.
I'm talking about us, not her. I mean, like I can make fun of myself, Adara. Like I'm allowed.
So that's fair. That's
right.
fair. I'm so brain dead today. We're holding on by a thread.
That's all good. I know. It was a tough night there. All right, let's see what Dragon Adrian. Sharif, check Meta on the 4-hour. Looks like a head and shoulders. Absolutely. Let's have a look. All right, incoming call from a random spyware number. Spam, not spyware, come on. All right, let's check the 4-hour. I don't know what you're looking at, Dragon. Is it this over here? This is the 4-hour on Meta. I don't see much of a head and shoulder. Well, maybe this. Are you looking at this? With that the head there being on the 15th and then the shoulder being like on the 9th and the 10th? I mean, that's not what I would be looking for there. But yeah, hey, if it works for you, it works for you. But I don't see the same thing you're saying. Elon, hi Sharif. Just a reminder, one-day settlement begins Tuesday. Swing long, pan, dup, and Palantir. Also W day on reversal, closed November gap. So, Elon, you know I'm long pan dub. It's the 3rd largest name in the account. And we don't talk about how much money we're in the money on anything because that's just a rule that I have. But I'm in the money on it nicely. And that's just, we're going to leave it at that. I'll tell you about my losers. I'll never tell you about my winners.
I like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so Pandub is a great name. There's a 265 support. If you look on the daily, why I didn't sell on that last little move down, as I was showing Adair the other day, it made a higher low even on the bad earnings report. It still was able to make that higher low. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about on Pandub. Here is the daily, and you'll see after that big huadunk that we had in Feb, look at where it held up. The 200, you gotta love when it holds up at that. And then there is price action support. Look at the wick shimmies that it was doing back in October. Wasn't able to break that 266, 270-ish area. Lo and behold, comes right into that area on the earnings miss back in Feb when Nancy was buying hand over fist. Then we come back in about a 60% retracement. Look at that. We come back right into the lows at 265 and we hold up there again. This is where I bought aggressively. Okay, the reason is because it held up at that same level and that same level. So I was like, okay, you know, now I have a line in the sand. If that 265 gives way by a decent margin, that's the end of the trade for me, and I'll have to take an L on that. But there you go. And this was the earnings miss, or you want to call it an earnings miss. I don't know. That the CEO is all upset that we're talking about billings, this, that, and the other. Anyway, so we got into about 325 the afternoon before earnings on Pandub. Then you saw what Pandub did. It tanked about 291 or 290 at the low. But look at that. It doesn't even print a new low. And the next day, it looks like a bearish engulfing candle. But look what happens. We're right there again, above the opening print that we had on the day that we missed earnings. So I said to Adair yesterday when we were looking at him, I said to him, if I suffered through this drop in February, why on earth would I be selling here when I printed a higher low? So Pandub, you know, looks like most of the analysts have their price target up in the high 300s. I see here, shout out to the NOS boss, a rounded bottom. And with, you know, when we had that big move down, then we have incrementally higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher highs, essentially. And maybe we'll get a big spike up or maybe just incremental move up. So I'm holding on to Pandub for the foreseeable future. All I see on the news is this person got hacked, this person got hacked. My only concern with cybersecurity names is it seems as if companies now, because they're worried that one of the IT provider or the cybersecurity providers might get compromised, they're starting to spread their money amongst 3 or 4 different cybersecurity. So they'll throw a little bit with CrowdStrike, a little bit with Pandub, a little bit with Zscaler. So that, you know, if they're compromised, if one of those companies is compromised, the company doesn't get compromised. That concerns me a little bit. That means you don't have concentrated spending with one company. So if you're going to distribute the money, that might be a bit of a problem. That's really the only kind of headwind I can see with respect to this company. But, you know, that's just my take on things there.
I like that take, and I think you are right, because I know you've like said this. I think it bears repeating as well, which is why I appreciate you repeating it. Like how with PanW, the more cybersecurity threats there are, it proves that like this is the company we need, right? So I appreciate you saying that. Also, I'm really proud of what I did with this AMD, because this was really difficult for me. I haven't sold yet. I could have sold when we broke up into the 60s, and I almost did, and I said, Adara, you're trying to work on holding. I've said multiple times, I very much dislike holding my winners because I find more often than not, pretty much always, I paper hand them in this AMD trade earlier, as one example. So I wanted to hold this because I said, Adara, see what we do. If we break below 20s, get out, because I know that 20s area is kind of dicey. But we ended up bouncing at 25, so I actually added to the position. Also, we did end up figuring out a little bit earlier, which was kind of annoying, at this 90, so we didn't lose too much in it. It was more just I wanted more shares. But I'm all good here. Now the plan is I want to get out half at 60s now that I've added to the position, and then I'm going to save that other piece for a dream. And I can't believe and as I say that, AMD's like, well, as you wax poetic, I'm just going to fall a little bit. If it holds 166s, I'll stay in. But I do like that our support's going from 166 to 166.25. That says something to me. I rarely average into positions in AMD. I average down and up because I really like what I'm seeing. And I want to shout out Sean with conviction. I have so much conviction on this trade. I am trading it in a way that I think belies my confidence. I think it shows that I really care about, I don't care about the trade, that sounded weird. But I like the move, I think the move works. What I don't like is that we're still seeing some resistance at 166.40, which is that previous resistance level. Like, AMD, come on, you're past that. You're literally past that. You made it to 70s. You can keep going, AMD. I believe in you. So let's see if it believes in itself here as we push up a little bit higher. Any thoughts on AMP, says Chris Holloway. Yeah, I mean, I've spent so much time waxing poetic about maybe its cousin AMD. I don't know. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Sure, no problem. All right, guys, I got long Meta again. Call me crazy, but I'm cruising for a bruising here. Just wet my beak on 25 pennies. We're nicely in the money. We're about 25 pennies in the money on this one. I see Meta doing bottoming tail candles into the 20 period, curling up, higher lows, higher highs, with the wick shimmy being at that 476. I said, this is what I look for. So you got to go long here. And so if I get stopped out, I get stopped out again. But this is what I look for when I'm looking for longs on dips. This kind of look here. Wow, Softy's going. So when we do the wick shimmy here and we keep getting bought up with closing prints a little bit higher and higher incrementally, I say to myself, this shows me that the buyers are overwhelming sellers at that specific area. Get long. So we'll see exactly what we get here. Long 73s at the moment. It's printing it just printed 99s there. Well, it's printing 99s as I speak right now. Let's go 477. Go break up. I'll be waiting, not that I have that much left. Go. Yes, go. Let's see if we can get like 50 pennies or 60 pennies or something like that. Maybe at 477.5 or so, Adara. Your mic good? Your mic good?
Yeah, my mic's good.
All right, cool.
Can I call Meta a punk on your behalf?
You can, absolutely.
Go, Meta,
absolutely.
you punk. I'm not even really looking at Meta, but I will cheer it on for Sharif. Also, yeah, so I was going to look at AMC for someone there. So let's take a look at AMC. Yeah, so I think so. I think it was Michael Westrick calling out that we needed that $5 break, and AMC unfortunately could not give that. It had that night pushed above 490, and then gave up the ghost a little bit. Shout out to the man to my right, whose name is Sharif, who's also wearing purple. But this AMC, this is interesting. We're bouncing off VWAP, but we're still below the 90 MA. So, and we're also kind of ducking below that 482 area, which we held decently as support. So I think AMC is at some kind of level that could be interesting. Amaliat is the best. I almost said the beast. Is the best. $2 super chat. Thank you so much there to you for that. What's your input on Microsoft? I mean, let's take a look at Microsoft and see what the take is. MSFT. Well, we'll look at Microsoft quickly here for the super chat, and then we'll pass it over. Sorry. But yeah, Microsoft, I think I couldn't tell if she was being serious or not. Microsoft, interesting look. We pushed up here, bounced off the 90 MA, came back here. I think that brief resistance support, flippity flop here at 429.50 is a nice look. I think that 90 MA bounce here into 429.20s is a nice look. I'm not seeing a lot of downside risk again. That's my view on just my take on the chart, right? No advice, but I think what's interesting too is we do have a couple topping tail candles. Be cognizant of that. That being said, that 90 EMA bounce is a great look. That 430 level could be key because it's a whole dollar level. Let's see what it does. But right now, we're going to see what Neil has to say because it's his lesson of the day.
Neil.
Lesson of the day today is, where can I stream the Chappelle Show because that's what I was talking to you about, Sean. No, it's not. That's not actually, it's 100% not what it's going to be. But we were just talking about, like, where can I actually stream the Chappelle Show? And Copilot is trying to tell me it's on Netflix when I know it's not on Netflix. No, the lesson of the day is something completely different. But if anyone happens to know the answer to that question, you put it in the chat, I'll be eternally grateful for that and give you a bit of a shout out as well. So there's many different styles of trade, but in an upward trend or a downward trend, there's a couple that are pretty much standard. One is the breakout, the other is the dip buy. Now, when you approach a key level, usually you're picking one or the other. When do you want to take a breakout trade? When do you want to take a dip buy trade? What should you favor? Typically, the way I like to look at it, the simple difference as to why I may take a dip buy over a breakout would be, do you have the early move for a break? Now, oftentimes, the breakouts that set up early in the day off of the opening range are the real explosive ones. They can involve pre-market highs. They can involve opening range tops in that first 30 minutes. After that, I think you want to be a little bit more cautious in terms of taking dips. Now, I'll give you an example, Mara. I like 21 on Mara. However, the break and test of 21 didn't happen until about 10:40 when we're getting into the end of the show. The early break off an open range high, which was a random level, but it just happened to be where it put it in, at 2070 was actually great. If you took that double top break, it goes right in the money, goes to resistance, pulls back in. So the first rule I usually have about taking breakouts is I'm going to favor them unless it's just I'm talking like a no-brainer level in the middle of the day. You got to love it for a lot of reasons. But in this case, it's already broken. Later in the session when things have slowed down, I don't want to get trapped at a top. I'd rather be in that patient mode. So in that particular case, we're going to go for a dip buy. And then just another rule number 2 for it, I'm always careful or cautious of breaks into overhead resistance. This one didn't necessarily have a bad breakout into overhead resistance situation, but it was a break into some chop. And if you look at the last couple of days, above the 21 level, it's just choppy. Like it got above like 30, 40 cents here, some chop. There was a very choppy dip buy the day before, very choppy in and around that level before. So it's a good price area, but it hasn't been super clean going through. So a couple of things to consider there. Now the dip buy, I always say keep it simple. I should leave this up so you can see. You're going to get into the obvious top here at that 21. It dips. The breakout level from earlier, stepping up from one to another. Sometimes I might like VWAP, but if I can take the opening range breakout and it shows the dip, that's the entry I'm going to favor. So you can sit out in front of it, but that wasn't the plan of action here. I let this wick happen. It tagged the bottom at 2066. Came right back above 75, so back above that previous high, jump into the long, stop goes underneath here, and then you scalp them out to the first level, it breaks that out, first move, this is another wick top into 20, so I grabbed some out there, and then hold it to next step up, which was 2160. So that's the anatomy of a clean breakout early, where I do prefer breakouts early, or go for the dip buy once you're later on in that session. Ultimately, if you took the next double top break, this ended up being really good. I was actually looking for another dip at that point, but that did end up working out. You just have to choose what works for you. Sometimes people love breakouts in the middle of the day. I was actually having a conversation with one of our traders about how everyone was looking at the NVIDIA 1050 break, or a lot of traders were probably looking at it in the middle of the day. And a lot of times what will happen is in that middle of the day, what does everybody want? They're like, oh, look at this 1050, look at that 1050. Yeah, is it usually gonna make that break? At lunchtime, you didn't even get it. We've seen it with Apple, we've seen it with Palantir, we've seen it with many others. In the morning, even if it's a fail break, it probably takes out that 50 for at least a couple of dollars, even if it ends up coming back. At lunchtime and later, you can get trapped in a lot of those moves. So going for the dip buy makes a heck of a lot more sense. Just another variation of that in terms of where you might look at dips instead of breaks. I'm going to go to DraftKings in here. Now, DraftKings is probably the more perfect example of, this is yesterday's top on news at 40.90, and I split the difference. And okay, fine, the trade worked out, but I'll tell you why it wasn't good execution. So at the open, it immediately takes out this high. It's consolidating under 49, immediately takes out that high. So you had to take the break at 9:30. However, I play the dip, but without enough patience. I just play it into VWAP because I like VWAP, which at that time of the day, who cares about it? Remember we just talked about with that trade in Mara, dip back into previous resistance. It dips into previous resistance and holds. The long could have been at 40.95, maybe 41 even instead of 41.10. Now ultimately, the long works anyways because it never reclaims that low under 40.80. That said, when you've got a 50-cent move, or at tops, even if you get the best, you're calling a 60 or 70-cent move, that 10 or 15 cents that you give up really matters. You know, that can be a quarter to maybe even a third of your trade. If you get the whole moves, maybe it's a little bit less than that, but that matters in the long run. Think about that every single time you take that setup. If you're giving up 1/5 of your profitability, not because of where you got out, but because of where you got into it. So don't just look back at a trade and say, hey, that was successful. I took the dip, buy the dip instead of the break. Well, that's a bad price. The second entry off of that level is a good price because it was going higher lows. But this should have been a long in here on the dip. But we anchor ourselves sometimes to a line in the chart. I'm guilty of that with VWAP sometimes. So we could have been a little bit better with that. I think once you miss that early breakout trade, I'm not going to look for the break of the high. I'm going to look for that dip buy opportunity. So, you know, when it broke that high in here, it was actually getting out and looking for that dip. Early breaks, fantastic. If you can find maybe like a meme stock or the higher short float names, they tend to be okay in the middle of the session. But for a lot of these other names, if you don't get that early breakout trade, going for the dip buy strategy off the same level when it's trending can be a heck of a lot more profitable. And if anyone's put in the chat where I'm able to find that Chappelle Show stream live, I'm going to ask Perplexity to see where it might be. You guys let me know. But your lesson of the day, how to choose dip buy or breakout. Think time of the day, think the type of stock, and then plan your entry accordingly. There's no necessarily wrong answer, but I tend to favor the dip buy if we're a little bit late to the move. That's your lesson of the day, dips versus breaks.
Much, Neil. Eloquent, informative, and awesome as always. Neil Roberts, baby. Every day around noon hour, Neil's lesson of the day. Make sure to catch that. Always hotlines on that lesson. All right. What do we see here? Gorev, does Dell look like it's trying to bounce off the 10-minute or still consolidated? Let's have a look at Dell. Dell's been very strong. I've seen a lot of people in the chat are talking about Dell. So let's get right to it, baby. D-E-L-L is how it's spelled. I know. Can you believe it?
Who would have thought?
Profound. No, yeah, good look, Gorev. I mean, really, the best level there was the wick shimmy that it was doing with the 20 on the 10. Let me put in the ticker. And I saw people in the chat earlier asking what I meant by the wick shimmy. And I'm sorry, you know, sometimes I use these terms and I forget that we have newer viewers all the time. What I mean by the wick shimmy is when it comes into a level, either north or south, so it could be approaching it or coming down to it, and then it starts doing these bottoming tail or topping tail candles where the wicks are really long to the high side or really long to the downside, but the bodies are on the opposite sides of the candles. And that's what's showing you that if it's coming up to it, the sellers are winning because it's wicking up and then the body's coming right back down. The opposite is true. When it comes into a key area of support and you keep seeing these bottoming tail candles keep getting bought up because their buyers are overwhelming sellers. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here a little bit. And it's even better when it's at a key area, either a moving average, an area of support or resistance, whatever it is, the volume weighted average price. So this was really good. Good eye on this, Gorev. I hope you had patience to hold through. It looks as if it was dancing with the 20 as well as that whole dollar level at 163. And then here we go, breaking into that 164.5 level, incrementally higher highs and higher lows. DELL, good look here on the day. What is it up? 7%. Oh, that's it? You know what I mean? Like this stock, guys, this stock did very little for a long time. Here's the weekly. Okay? So you can see it was locked in with, say, $60 to the high side and about $30 to the low side for years. This is going all the way back into March 2020. Forget about the March dip. That's the COVID drop, and you know that doesn't really reflect the true nature of the company. But this is when it started making the big boy moves there. In August of 2012, once we started hearing about the servers and the AI servers that they were starting to expand. And since that time, Dell is up 200% since August of last year. I don't think it's moved 200% in the last few years. So that's really the look there with DELL. But on the daily, or sorry, on the 5-minute, I definitely agree with you, Gaurav. Nice little rounded bottom with the wick shimmy coming in through the 20. That 163 area got bought up pretty good there. Top, VOIP, ENVX, looks like it wants to go. Wednesday's high target. Let's have a look. ENVX. What is this one up to? I don't know any deets about this one. Let me just find out here. Yeah, 1.75 billion market cap, 2.4 million shares done on the day. The float, 143 million shares. So, you know, definitely a larger float there. What is it up on the day? 7 1/3%. Let me put in the ticker, ENVX. Let me just have a look quickly at the daily on this one to kind of get the idea of what the overall trend in. Alibaba's flying, says Neil. We're going to look at that one in a hot second here. Okay, so I've looked at this before, and there's my alert for it. So I have to delete this. Okay. Yeah, good look there, man. That's on the daily. Let's look at the 5. What's the move on the 5? Yeah, the move is off the 10. I mean, look at that. Everything has been bouncing off the 10. If it doesn't come into the 20. All right, let's look at Baba. Because Neil says Alibaba be flying, and I was just talking to Max and the guys back there, and they're trading PDD, and they're talking about the strength of PDD or the weakness. I don't know, one of the two. Strength, it looks like. Well, it's up 4 1/4, but selling off now. And we saw Dara trade that very well yesterday. PDD. Now, Alibaba just got a big boy move up there. What is going on? Got up, moved from 80 into 82. I don't see anything specific on Baba. Let me have a look quickly. Okay, well, this is the this is not new. We know that they have a buyback program for about $4.5 billion. So that's really not new there. Anything else coming in? No, I don't see anything specific except, did Goldman upgrade PDD today?
They did.
Okay, so that's old then. Okay, so that's old as well. So I don't have anything Baba specific, but as you can see there, big move up. Oh, okay. I can take over. Let's have a look over here, see what Apple's doing. Every time I come into Apple's chart, I notice a newer high of day, which is unbelievable because every time I look to set up a possible dip trade, I'm like, okay, well, it's not really getting away. But so maybe we'll have to set up a dip trade off the 10 there at 190 1/5. Good look for Apple, Adara.
Yeah, that good look for Apple indeed. AMD, I got out of the long. This was hard for me because I dislike holding stocks because I find I usually paper hand them. We did take a profit in AMD. When I noticed the lower highs, I got out of the long. And then I decided after a while to flip short. And now it looks like that was a mistake. Because, oh no, we broke, every time we fail 40s, it gives me more confidence. Because I was saying to Sharif that 166.40 level in AMD was like wild. I noticed you're making higher lows on the book, so I got out of AMD 29s, did make some profit on that. Now I do think we're flipping short. Not just because we can't get that 166.40, but because look at these lower highs. We popped above 40s once. We haven't done it since, and we're curling. We are curling to the downside. So I want to get involved. I started the short position, 166.19s, added at 29s. If we keep staying below that 166.40 level, because that is some weird, bizarre area of resistance for AMD, and like we'll go into it and then reject. So I want to see what we do around 40s. Right now I'm happy with this position. I want to see what happens next, though. Jirilius, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. What's your current input on Meta? I mean, I'm not the one who's been trading Meta all day. I think right now, I know you definitely have a clear read on Meta, but I think this resistance support flip 476.50s was really interesting for sure. Bless you. Now we're below that 9 EMA. Which is kind of interesting as well. And it's interesting, too, that area that we kind of used as a level of support on Meta, 476, now a bit of an area of resistance. We've wicked a couple times above the 9 EMA, then rejected. So I think it looks like we are curving a bit to the downside after that big move down. But I mean, as you can see on the wicks here, Meta has been a bamboozling stock for sure today. Yeah, my read on Meta would be, I think it's interesting that we're sort of holding. We haven't broken below that area of support, that little trough 475.50s. I think if we break below that with a viciousness, bless you, things could get really interesting. But you know what else could be really interesting? At 1, I was just going to do that. Yeah, at 1 p.m.
Oh,
things are going to get
thank
really
you.
interesting with that vote.
I always forget it, Dara. Thank
And
you
it's
for
funny,
reminding
I was
me.
literally able to transition to that. Thank you to Ramin there, because this is what things are going to get interesting at 1 p.m.
Yes.
When you vote for the ticker you want Sharif to talk about on the big screen.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, guys, we have an entirely new segment. It's no longer Brendo and I at the big desk from 2 to 2:30. We throw it over to the big kahunas. All we talk about is what was moving the markets in the morning. No, no, no. We are now going to be talking about what you want us to talk about. The tickers that were moving intraday that you traded, that you want to know more about. Have your say in this viewer's choice kind of segment. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go into the chat. You're going to type in !join space, because I see some people don't put the space between the join and the $, space, $, and the ticker that you want, whether it's Apple, whether it's NVIDIA. Lucy today. Lucy's been fantastic. 73 pennies, up a zillion%. You want to talk about Lucy? Throw that in the chat. If you don't vote, you don't get your say. So this is where we put the ball in your court, guys. We hope you like this segment because there's always that one stock that we don't cover. We can't get to it all, but you know how it is. So that is a look there. And yeah, I just want to shout out all our viewers because definitely we would not be here without you guys. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, guys. We got to put this so it's a wider voting time. I don't know why we only have it for 1 hour. I'll talk to Brendo about that. But guys, sorry, you're throwing it in the chat. You got to wait till 1 o'clock. It's between 1 to 1:50. You can't vote after 1:50. You can't vote before 1 o'clock. Maybe we'll get that changed. Sorry about that. I should have put that up there. You know, just forgot. It's a Friday, so forgive me for that one. So wait till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, guys. About 40 minutes, you'll be able to get your vote there.
Yeah, you're going to be able to get your vote. I think what I've learned is, I know I said, oh, I want to try like doing the whole holding thing with AMD. I don't know if that is my lifestyle, you know. I'm happy with the long, don't get me wrong, the first long went okay, but it would have just been so much better had I actually gotten out of that like, you know, high of daybreak or whatever, around 80s, right? I get why I held, you know, I wanted to hold, but it's like also I feel like I'm trying to be the type of trader that, you know, I think, I don't know how to put this. I think that's not really who I am as a trader, is how I want to say that. And I do appreciate, you know, everyone's support being like, you know, Dara, like try to hold the trades longer. I just find that's when I paper hand. AMD ended up losing some of the profits. I still understand why I flipped short there. It's all good. I was able to manage it okay. But then I flipped back long because I noticed now we're holding. We're going to get out some of this at 70s. I noticed then like I said, once I really wanted to see that beautiful breakup above 166.40. So I was cool being short until we got that. Then when we got that, I immediately flipped long. So I don't really know what I'm saying. I'm just saying you got to go with what the market's telling you. You got to go with the flow. If we break below 20s, I'm out. I want these 30s, and you know, or not 30s. I want 70s, and I want all the smoke.
All the smoke. She wants to inhale all of it.
Not actually.
No.
That was
because well, yeah. We don't have to talk about it, but that, yeah, it's an inside joke.
That was good.
Yeah, come on, it's right down your alley, dude.
But
guys, there is no ticker called my mustache. Okay?
We'll try to do
so
that
if
again.
you guys put in the dollar side and put stash or mustache or whatever variations you guys are putting, it's all funny and I love it and I love you guys. Obviously, I get all the trolling and I was ready for it and I put myself out there, but it will not be covered on the viewer's choice segment.
Well,
so,
to be fair, it will be there for the viewers.
it will be there, but it will not be covered, Adara.
That's true.
Right? I will not speak about my mustache on it. So, guys, I love the trolling, but yeah, wait till about 1 o'clock, guys. Another 40 minutes or so before we can get to voting. All right, let me get to the trade that I've got on at the moment here, MRUS. This is that big monster biotech stock. I'm looking to short this one, looking to wet my beak here at the 59.40. It's been you know, making a bit of a down move. If it pops back into 60, I'll be looking to add a little bit there. It looks like it might pop back. So I'm packing my patience here with this name, MRUS. Maybe there is a ticker, says Sebastian. I don't know, brother. If there is, let me know. Find it, and we'll make a joke out of it on this show, but not one that I've ever seen anyway. Maybe there is something like, maybe there is something to that. Anyway, so looking to add on any pops on MRUS. I'm a smidge above $60 for the ad there. NASA, $20 super chat. This is for you, Adair. Go for it.
Oh my, thank you so much, Nessa, for the super chat. Tagging me. Just want to say thank you for all your transparency and contributions. You're amazing along with everyone. You keep the show entertaining. Love your personality. Always nice to hear you to my community. Now, yeah, I mean, I want to echo Sharif. They're so sweet. Thank you so much, Nessa, for that. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope your trading's been going well. And thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you for the kind words. It has been quite a week. You know what I mean? So I'm just happy to be here with everyone. And very much appreciated, and hope that you are printing, as Sharif always says to me. I need a little bit of water there because my throat was like, bleh. Also, AMD printing, happy with this trade right now. I know I said I was going to be holding less, but I actually do want to hold this because I like this. And I said once we get that beautiful 40 break, I desperately wanted that I was going to be a little bit comfier. We had that 40 break, so now I'm a little bit comfier. We did take 30 pennies in the money, but now I do have a piece for the dream. And I mean, AMD, if you want to put the dream in AM Dream, you know, let me know. But yeah, thanks again to Nessa. That is, yeah, so kind of you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Paul Black, for all the support in the chat. Always happy to be here. What are you guys looking at? I know I'm not, you know, Sharif on the green screen. We can always look at some things as well heading into that. Don't forget to vote for that. That is for sure. Also, I wonder, is there a way to like chart the mustache? Like, I just want to know what people are thinking with like, oh, like this, like, you know, support resistance.
I have no comments.
I went off
I've got nothing
on that. But yeah,
That's
good
funny.
times. Apple making its turn, question mark, says Johnny C. Yeah, let's find out if, oh, okay, I don't know. I think if you're saying Apple makes its turn probably like to the downside, here's the thing. I thought that on this move down, we had that nice move. I tried to go short briefly, didn't work out. However, with this turn, I want to see what we do at 190.25. You might be like, Adair, that's kind of an arbitrary level. I'm not sure it is, actually, because we did have this push up above here, right? Then, top and turn, whoop, to the upside. And then we come back down. I mean, sorry, we didn't come back down, but we did have a little bit of a doji. So I think that 190.25 could be interesting if we come there. I also am not sure returning quite yet, Johnny, because if you look at the 5-minute, look at that very bullish candle. We did have a red candle, but it was bullish. Of course, we do need to break above that 190.60s, but I think, you know, regardless, I would probably wait to see what we do at 190.25s before saying that the Apple is going sour or going rotten. Also, AMD 167. So I am pleased as punch, trying to take different kinds of trades. This was a name that I had some struggles on, still kind of having some struggles on throughout the day. But if you see levels you like, you do owe it to yourself to commit. I did flip the style up way too many times. And if they hate, then let them hate and watch the cents pile up. And we haven't piled up yet, but it is about commitment. It's about conviction. Conviction isn't just a Law and Order spinoff. It's just a way of trading, and it's a way of life. And I'm really trying to commit to that more. And again, I want to thank Nessa and everybody in the chat because I'm a new trader, and it means so much to be able to learn and grow with this great community. But you know what else learning and growing is about? Lessons. That was not the best transition of my life.
it's all good. It was really
But
good.
yeah, thank you so much to Sharif for putting together the lesson of the day. And we're going to hear him spit some hot fire, dropping some hot lines, as Papa Powell often does. Sharif.
All right, guys, we have been talking about the measured move all week, the measured moves or move or whatever you want to call it. Today, we're going to talk about combining that strategy with some other technical indicators. So let's get right to it. The allure of the measured moves in intraday trading is undeniable. I guess maybe somebody can deny it, but successful traders know the importance of confirmation. Using multiple tools to validate their analysis, this lesson will explore how to combine measured moves with other technical indicators for stronger signals. So let's get right down to work. So why confirmation matters? I mean, we pretty much probably know this, but let's review it anyway. Measured moves provide estimates, so they don't provide guarantees. The market can be quite unpredictable, as you know, we call it the bamboozler all the time, the reversion man, the boogeyman, or the whatever kind of man, the one that Knob always talks about. And so relying solely on retracement levels can lead to costly mistakes. So what we do in this case is we look for confirmation from other technical indicators like moving averages, etc., some of the other stuff we'll talk about here. So some popular confirmation tools, I just kind of preface that, but moving averages are really popular for mixing with the measured move. These smooth out price fluctuations and they help reveal the underlying trend, which is one of the key requirements for the measured move. If a measured move aligns with a trend identified by moving averages, example, the price is approaching a support and resistance level made by that moving average, then the signal strengthened. Likewise, support and resistance levels are also really important, right? These are areas where the price tends to bounce or stall. If the measured move retracement coincides with a support or resistance level, it suggests a strong buying zone for potential strong entry and exit zones, whether you're going long or short. And there's also the momentum indicators that we really talked about last week when we did that week on moving average crossovers. So these gauge the speed and the strength of price movements. If a measured move aligns with a momentum indicator like the relative strength index, which could be, indicating an overbought or an oversold condition near the retracement level. Again, it's going to have to coincide with the retracement level that you've calculated using the formula for the measured move. Then this could absolutely reinforce the potential for a trend continuation or reversal. And here we have, basically the whole idea of the measured move, calculating where the retracements are going to come into, and then actually looking and seeing where the moving average is, where the price support is as well. Here it is with the retracements. So now I didn't show you the mathematical calculation for the measured move, but you can go back and have a look at the lesson from Monday or Tuesday when we talk about that ad nauseum. But some of your charting softwares should be able to do this for you automatically. So how do you put it all into practice? I mean, what's the deal here? So first, identify a trend. You can use moving averages or the price action to help identify the trend. Do we have higher highs and higher lows on the price? Or are the moving averages pointing up, side, or downward? So that's how you identify the trend. That's step one. Step two, you're going to spot the price move. So you're looking here for within an established trend, you're looking for a significant price move up or down. Works both ways, okay? Within the established trend. So that's step number two. And then step number three, you're going to actually calculate the measured move. Didn't show you the calculation here? Go back to Monday or Tuesday and you can see exactly what that is. So you're going to apply the retracement level of your choice, whatever fib retracement level you're going to use, 50, 61.8, whatever. Make sure it's consistent. And then you're going to seek confirmation. You're going to look for signals or other indicators to help support your measured move analysis. So let's look at some examples. So the first one here, in an upward trend. Let's assume the price makes a significant jump up. We already know that the trend is established, it's upward. Then we get step number two here, which is the big price move. We get that. Then the measured move, after you do your measured move calculation, it suggests a retracement to a support level identified by moving average, which is good. We have the confluence. So now we know the moving average, say the 20 is hanging out at price A. The measured move calculation shows us a retracement level, also comes into price A, so we have confluence. Check. Then we look at the RSI, the relative strength index. And the RSI is indicating oversold conditions at that level. So this confluence, again, strengthens the possibility of a buying opportunity. Sorry, I just have to wet my beak here. Am I going to wet my beak here, Dara, or am I going to leave this a little bit here?
I don't know. Well, we're coming into that area, but I think it's a nice look.
Come what may.
Come what may. Yeah. I like that.
Don't really care.
Come on.
All right. Right? So that's what we're talking about. So that's the upward move. The downward move. We know that the moving averages are pointing down. The price action is pointing down. So step one, we've done the trend analysis. Step two now, we have to look to see whether there is that big price move. That's the next thing. So we get that move down. The price plunges. And then we do the measured move calculation, and the calculation suggests that there is resistance near a previous high. So there's a price action support there, and the measured move is pointing us there as well. Then we look at the RSI for more confluence, more confirmation. The RSI is indicating overbought conditions at those levels. So this combination strengthens the possibility of a selling opportunity. So that is the look there, okay? And some beyond the basics, guys, just to kind of put this, to give you an idea, there is no one-size-fits-all approach here. The experiment with different indicator combinations to find what works best for you and what works best for your trading style. Are you going to use the 10 or the 20? Are you going to use the 20 or the 50? Are you going to use the 50 or the 200? Whatever you use, work on it. Figure out what works best for you, what really seems to hit home the most with your trading style. Don't overcomplicate it though. Choose one or two reliable indicators. Right now we talked to you about the moving averages and RSI. Could be a good combination. Give it a shot, right? You just don't want to make it too complicated. Start off with one or two indicators to help confirm the measured move and see if that works. If it doesn't, change them up, look for something else. And then backtest your strategy, right? Backtest it on historical data, go in the sim. Again, Trade Ideas allows you to, are we able to talk about that Trade Ideas thing, Roman?
Yeah, let's
This is the Trade Ideas software right here. Trade Ideas allows you to go back and backtest your strategy up to 3 months. I know some other softwares definitely help allow you more, but yeah, make sure that you have something that allows you to do that. And Adara, we got a special offer for them today.
We do. It's Trade Ideas. We have a special offer for Trader TV Live. It's a limited time Memorial Day sale. It's happening because of, you guessed it, Memorial Day. And if you want to get involved, just use TV Annual 28. That's the code to save 28% on a, you guessed it, annual subscription. TV Annual 28. You want 28% off an annual subscription to Trade Ideas? TV Annual 28.
There it is.
And I'm gonna, yeah, I said TV Annual 28 quite a few times. And it is TV Annual 28. That is the code. Also, Fabian was dropping hotlines on my ear. Pretty solid questions. Like, what about, how do you avoid confirmation bias when you're looking for confirmation? Because I think that's a really tough question. And I was starting to think about it as well. It's hard to know.
Well, I mean, it's on the balance of the evidence. So if you see it pointing 3 indicators to the right and 1 to the left, go to the right.
I like that.
Yeah, if it's a 50-50, then it really is a 50-50 shot. I mean, I don't know if it's confirmation. We got a trade, right?
That's true.
So we're looking for something to help justify our trades, I guess. That's kind of how I'm looking at it, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just thought that was a cool question, so I wanted to address that. Shout out to Fabian and Remy,
Fabian.
always killing it. Also, AMD. I'm happy. Like, I don't know. This is, I know I was just like bemoaning, like, oh, why do I ever hold position? But then I was like, you know what, Adara? Like, if you still feel good about the idea, stay involved. Weirdly, we had this nice little move down. I say nice, but it's not that nice at all. We had this nice little move down here in the markets. If AMD stays, believe me, it's hard to not take profit earlier, but it's like also, if you still like the idea, stay with the idea, right? So I do want to shout out everybody who was kind of telling me that earlier this week. I'm still trying to get into the habit of that, but I think it is worth it for me to try, especially if I have an idea like as much as AMD. Now you might be like, Adara, AMD was clearly seeing a bit of a top at 166.70. Why would you not get out there? Well, it's because it did the same thing at 166.40s. AMD will come to these bizarrely arbitrary levels of support and resistance, 165.80, 166.40, 166.70. I do not make the rules. AMD does. AM does. So just AM do it. I don't know. But AMD has these levels, and when it gets these levels in its head, it's like, no, I will stick with these levels. But then when it breaks above the level, it gets kind of beautiful. So I wish these breakouts would be more than 30 cents, mind you. That'd be pretty nice. But yeah, so this AMD, I mean, we could have had a topping tail candle here, I'll be honest. But until I want to see what we do at 40s. Right now, I have no reason to leave. I'm also in PDD, taking that short. If we break above 50s, I'm out. But I like the short because we had that topping tail candle. I don't know, both of these could go against me, but you got to try. Also, I like the topping tail candle and that little pause there earlier.
I love it. It's a print factory up in this MRUS short. Thank you for telling me to stay into that because that was the right decision there. All the way down on MRUS. This dipped into 59. Alas, I did not have an order there. I wet my beak at 40s. I didn't anticipate this down move here. And there it is again. We get filled at 25s. Wowzers. So we're short 59.95 and we just got 59.25. So happy about that. The last beak wetter is going to be in front of that whole dollar. Let's go ahead and sit at 05s because, well, whatever, right? Am I still? Yes, I still have some shareage. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and cover 59.05. We're going to put the last beak wetter there, come what may. Let's look at the Apple trade. Long Apple as well at 33s, just printed 10 pennies in the moolah, looking to continue with the dead one. It ain't dead today, and it wasn't dead yesterday. It was awfully weak yesterday, but it was alive. It was just headed to the south side. Today, alive and headed to the north side. Let's see if we can continue to print on this one. Now about 10 pennies in the money, but off highs. I mean, 190.58 is HOD on the day on AAPL. Let's see if we can ride it back onto that high day. We're holding above 18.9 as I speak. We've been doing a very consolidative style dance at 18.9 for the better part of the morning here on the show. So let's have a look at what the future has been doing. This is when we got above 18.9. That's at 11:10, so 10 minutes deep into the show, and you see what the future has been doing since said show started. It has been, very awfully consolidative, a little bit above 18.9, a little bit below, coming into the 20 right now. There's the local low is at 18.880 or thereabouts. So we'll see if that level holds up for the remainder of the day. What do we got here on MRUS? I'm sitting there at 59s, waiting to get printed back into 59.40s here. So we're going to have to pack our patience. We just did get a death cross between the 10 and the 20, and that's the first time they crossed since 9:25 today. They just touched up here at 12:40, so the cross literally just happened. Okay, great. Now you got to print on it. So cross, whatever. All right, I'm just pointing it out. So we'll see exactly what we get there. Let's not forget about Lucy, though, guys. Lucy is an absolute monster on the day, 360% off highs right now, about 12 pennies off the high, touched 97. It's been knocking on the door of $1 all day, and it's also held up every single time at either the 10 or the 20. Sorry, let me refresh that. I don't know why the 20 is not updating there. There we go. I'd look for maybe something off 80 pennies, 77 pennies to get something off that 10 period. It's getting a little extended away from the 10 period here at 97, so I do like the fact that it's coming down. Maybe hang out at 80s, hang out at 77s, whatever. Lucy, awfully, awfully strong on the day. In case I didn't give you the deets on Lucy, let me give it to you again. $14.5 million market cap with the 343% move. 573 million shares done on the day. The float on this monster, 11.2 million shares, very small. And I told you that the float was negligible. 0.49 of that 11.2 million shares are shorted. 80 pennies coming in now on Lucy. So this could be a 10-period bounce. It was like half a penny away from that 10 period. Keep your eye out on Lucy.
Yeah, Lucy, I mean, it's funny because it's actually Innovative Eyewear is the name of the company. Oh. So keep your Innovative Eyewear out for Lucy. Also, keep your eye out at 2 p.m. when Sharif will be on the green screen. Ooh. But in order to see, what will Sharif talk about if people do not vote, right? So if you want Sharif to talk on the green screen, that made that sound very threatening, sorry. What you do is you go at 1 p.m., don't do it yet, at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So in 18 minutes, what you'll do is you'll go in you'll think, oh, I want to look at this ticker. And I'll go, ! join, space, $, ticker name. And once you do that, you will be in the queue and it will accept everything. And then you may be one of the lucky tickers chosen that Sharif will be reading. I do sound like I'm selling car products or something. I don't know. But shout out to that. Also, I got out of AMD. Clearly too early, but I did not like that bearish candle. I did add to the position a bit because I wanted to chop and churn, combined with the fact that we were really struggling with 60s. Now, I know that's the same thing we saw. We were struggling with 40s and then we broke up. But I was just like, Adara, you've done this AM dance with AM Danger all day. Take your profit, take your licks, and go home. And that's what I ended up doing. It is what it is. And I know that's the dumbest thing to say, but it's true. That being said, if we fail 166.40s, that's going to be so juicy. That was resistance. That was support. If that flips back, I'll stop maniacally laughing. Yeah, AMD, I want to see what happens there. Also, PDD is printing, and I'm so happy right now. Oh my gosh, I have no words. Thank you, PDD. I'm pleased as punch. I want to see what we do at 158 because I mean, look at this little trough. I want to see what happens there. Pleased as punch, but I think you are too.
Well, we just took $1 on MRUS. So I'm really happy about that, Adara. I'm very happy. I literally got the bottomest of the wicks possible on this. Look at it. It spent no time there, guys. If you didn't have a resting order there, you didn't get filled on 59s because it spent all of a quarter second down there and then right back up it went. So pleased as dang punch on this trade, MRUS. Really good, strong name today, but we saw that rounded top coming in. And in fact, I got to give Adara credit for this because I was thinking maybe a 60 hold, and you know she kind of brought me back to reality, but she didn't even mean it. She's like, that's a really good looking short. I was like, oh, I was thinking about going long. There's Adara, right? And then we ended up punching short on this one, and so she was absolutely right. MRUS, good move down, decent volume done the day, but we're also in the dead one. Go, Apple, go. We're looking for a 190.50 break. We were just at 49s, and then we dipped back again. It seems as if there is a bit of a seller at that $0.50. Technically, we have 58s as the HOD, but I'm seeing some candles here. They're all wick shimmying into 50. So we're going to either have to pack our patience or take the profit here and get at a dodge, so to speak. Yeah, a lot of buying and selling. Tug of war happening here at the $0.50. Apple's done a lot of volume today, 18 million shares. Yeah, it's been holding up above the 10 period on the 5, but you wonder, you ask yourself, you know, how long that trend is going to last for, especially with the future not really breaking above that 18.9, dancing sideways at 18.9 for the better part of the show. We're going on to 2 hours of the sideways dance here on the future. So here's Apple holding the 10 period, as I was saying, but having issues with the $0.50 level. I'm just going to hold it, okay? It's Friday, come what may. Let's see what else. The soft one has been quite strong, not on percentage, but you can see here, nice recovery off that 4 1/4 break. Dipped into 424.41. Recovers about $5 here. Broke through 430, got to 430 1/3, below 430 now. But here's the thing. Now we're stalling out in our descent, and we're stalling out right at that 20 period. So I could be persuaded, certainly here, to get something off the $0.50, 429.50 or thereabouts, to defend that 20 period retracement. I'd like to see a touch and bounce off it so I can get it on the back end, as Neil likes to say, instead of just guessing randomly that it's going to bounce off the 20 period because I want it to. So going to continue to watch the soft one here at these levels, see if we can get anything there. Apple now coming, like I'm only 5 pennies in the money now on Apple. As it comes down, it's definitely having trouble with that $0.50. So decisions to be made here, whether to cover or what to do. There's the dead one coming into my my position here, and now I'm break even on this, so we're gonna have to think about this one. What is the line in the sand that I want to draw here? What was the low of that candle? The low of this candle was 32s, and I got in 33, so I'm not basing it on that. We can probably base it on the break of 30. I think I have my stop below the $0.25, I think. Let me just double check real quick. 1 second, I have to cancel this stop though. Yeah, okay, good. Good thing I looked at that. So I have it, yeah, a little bit below the $0.25, right below the $0.25. So I'll have to give it some time here. I'm gonna pack my patience with Apple. It's been strong on the day. Look for it to curl up. All right, let's see what else everybody is up to. And we'll have a look at some tickers. Oh, Rivian Millionaire Oklo, very strong today. Yeah, it's a second day holdout, my man. Look at Oklo, good call out there, my man. Shout out to Rivian Millionaire. We were talking about this one. This has been very strong. See what it did yesterday, Rivian Millionaire? I mean, it had a day yesterday from top to bottom there. Dara was up well over 16% there. So Oklo, you know, it's not a big mover. Today it's up 23% and change at the highs. It's been a 10 period or a 20 period love affair. Take your pick. It's been one or the other. Look at the 10 period. It's just absolutely held up on every dip. I mean, it hasn't given you too many opportunities. These are 5-minute charts, so you've had to wait maybe 10 or 15 minutes to get the dip into the 10 period. And again, I want to point this out, guys. I don't have this on my work software, but my home software allows me to do this. So I can take this line over here. This is a buy order. and I can kind of, you know, move the buy order up and down depending on, why is it not showing? What's happening?
Oh, it's being difficult?
Yeah, it's being very difficult. Anyway, I have buy orders I can drag and drop on the chart. It's making me look bad right now. Anyway, OKLO, HOD, great move. Look for a retracement off the 10.
Yeah, shout out to you on that apple. You took that bite of that apple. You were like, going into this with the weekend, getting the Steve Jobs done. PDD, I got 2/3 of the position out at 159.40s, so I took like 80 pennies. But I want to save. I have a very small position left. For me, at this point, it's not about share size, it's not about P&L, it's about commitment for this trade, and also just in general. I want a 158 break. Is that ambitious? Maybe. Is it possible? I mean, I think so, because I think, look at how strong this drop was. I think if we break below it with the viciousness, that could get amazing. I'm really proud of myself for holding this, because at one point we bounced back into 159 or 158.80, sorry. And I was like, I didn't like it. I was like, Adara, if we break, we nudged up against the 9 EMA, said if we break above the 9 EMA, get out here. We did it. So I owed it to myself to stay. And I'm starting to realize, like, me selling positions early that are working, who's that harming? That's only harming myself. If I like the position, if I have a good reason to say, I mean, obviously trust your intuition, right? If I'm seeing something on the book that I don't like, if I'm seeing a fundamental change in sentiment, of course, you owe it to yourself to get out to do what you need to do. But if you're not seeing that, if you're just getting out because you're scared, why? So I'm really proud of myself for that. Yeah, PDD, I'm going to set, you know what, actually we could break lower, so I don't want to punch out of this yet. AMD, that's why I got out of AMD though, because I could just feel like this sentiment was shifting. That's why I got out here. Like I said, if 166 flips from support to resistance, I'm getting short, but I want to see that test a couple times before I marry myself to this idea. It also did fake you out, like it was going to curl down earlier and then bounce back. So be very aware of AMD, because that one is maybe bamboozler king of the markets today. Let's take a look at Tesla. Solo Cristo wanted to look at the Cybertruck earlier today. I have to say, I love the support resistance bounce here, 178. We get that resistance complete with these candles wicking up here, these wicks to the upside. Then we get the support, wicks to the downside. It's this gorgeous support resistance tug of war. Then we pop back up. However, we're not able to either meet or eclipse that 179.30 high from earlier. So there's something in the water here on TSLA. I think that is an area of resistance. I don't know if we're necessarily going down here yet. We're continuing to kind of top and turn back up to it. But I think TSLA could be an interesting one indeed. And I think it's something worth watching out for. Thank you, Nessa. Much appreciated. Thank you, Sebastian. Thank you, everyone, for the support in the chat. This has been just such a fun day to trade. And I feel like this week really has put things into perspective for me. I had a really rough day on Wednesday. I was so close to getting shut down. I said, Adara, if you still like a trade, just take this trade. Either you get shut down or it works out because you really like it. You have that conviction that Sean always talks about, and it worked out. So I was proud of myself. I think that situation on Wednesday really set something into motion for me, and I've been trying to trade like that ever since. And PDD broke 158 on the buy side. Let's see if we can break it on the sell side here because, oh, do I want the smoke.
Show the chart, Ray.
I'm so proud of myself for holding this. I don't like this 158 bounce, PDD. You heard me, but I would love to make this a PD dollar club. So right now we are technically a dollar club, but I need to lock in for that. So let's see what happens here. Please just punch. I have no words. How was your Apple? Hopefully Apple's giving you some nice words.
Well, we already wet our beak on it. We're about 7 whole pennies in the money right now. Let's see if we can break the $0.50. I'm just going to hold on to it until I can see exactly what's afoot. Look, I'm looking at the futures here to see. I thought Neil was looking over. I was looking at the futures here to see what the direction of the market is, and I'm starting to notice, this interaction here between the 20 period on the 5-minute on the NQ. It keeps bouncing off this area, and this is kind of like in no man's land here. 18,890. Why are we holding up here? So what I see is a bit of a range happening, maybe 10 points higher than 18.9, 10 points lower than 18.9, give or take on the future. So, no market direction at the moment, and I think that's holding some of these ones back. We see Amazon awfully consolidative. Meta's become consolidative, for the last, I would say, hour and a half, maybe hour. Softy, though, just got a nice bounce. I just came back from the bathroom. We just got a nice bounce there off the 20. So if you were sitting there at 429, maybe in a third, you're printing. Because look at it move away from the 20 period. Wow, good strength there for the soft one coming back into 30, 430 that is, excuse me. So Microsoft, not up much on the day, 0.2%, but a great recovery off the bottom there, 424.41 LOD. Goggles, we haven't said too much about Google today. It's been bouncing off pivots for whatever reason. Pivots are also 175, likely the whole dollar level, but what I see is here possibly 3 successive lower highs on the 5-minute chart. So you got the trough initially here, 11.10, 11.15. It makes the high a day. It comes into that half dollar, 175.5 at around 20 after the hour. And here we are again trying to come back into that third of a dollar. If we don't get above the half dollar this time, there's no higher high. And it'll either be the same high or a lower high there, which means we're either going to be on a possibly lower high basis or a very consolidative move at the half dollar. But Google getting nice support off 175, not once, but twice today. Will it be OB thrice? So maybe you want to sit maybe back down at 175. It's featuring a lot today, that level. Go, Apple, go. So here we go. Apple now, the dead one, breaking through the half dollar, and it's about a couple of pennies off HOD right now, 58 HOD. So I'm just packing my patience here, baby. All the way up. Let's go, Apple. 2% on the day now, almost 2% on the day, 1.96. We'll see maybe 2 soon. AAPL trying to make back some of the shellacking that it took back yesterday. It dropped like quite a bit. I think almost $6 at a point. We were 192-ish, I think, in the pre, and then we touched high 186s, I think, in the worst part of the day yesterday on AAPL. So good recovery. We'll see if it can break and hold above that 19050.
Also, I like that you are letting Apple make back its shellacking. It's like, Apple, you got shellacked. I will make it back. So shout out to Sharif. Shout out to Apple. PDD is holding that 158. I knew it might because that was a massive area of pre-market resistance, massive area of pre-market, or not pre-market, just support period. So if we break above 158.10, I'm going to be out. But I will say PDD wants to stay PD down. So, I mean, we're going to let him do his thing, 21, let it cook, stir it up. Tesla's still trying to, I said I want to see if Tesla broke above that high. It hasn't yet, but I just wanted to address that because I know some people, I wanted to address this Tesla because I know some people are looking at Tesla. Looks like we do have a decisive lower high. Some people talking about Meta here as well if it's curling. I think we did just have a move down in some of these Mega names here, so that would explain that move. Hopefully Apple is safe. Hopefully Apple is not broiled.
Well, still on the money on it, but it broke below the half dollar. I mean, it's not going to be spared from these market moves today.
That's fair.
What do we have? Do we have anything? Do we have any on the economic calendar?
No.
Okay. No auctions or anything. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a nice calm Friday. Hope everyone has some exciting long weekend plans. I know you have one thing happening this long weekend.
Oh, yes.
It's too early for the whole what's going on in the weekend, but yeah, good times.
I'm old, Adara. That's what
not
it
where
is.
I was going with
That's
it.
what it is. Yes. You're pointing out the fact that I'm old. No,
Not where I was going with
it is my birthday tomorrow, so I'm going to have a good old time. Thank you guys. Appreciate everybody here, man. Appreciate you, Jag. I'm going to have to get out of Apple here because it's in a bit of trouble. Yeah, but the birthday tomorrow, turning 42. I didn't think I would ever make it to 42. I don't know. I just never imagined myself. I know it is, right? I never imagined myself at 42. No, seriously. Like when you imagine yourself as an adult, I just never had. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to do some stuff. Going to do a boys workout tomorrow. Going to the beach. Hopefully the weather holds out here. They're calling for rain later in the afternoon. And then hopefully with the boys, we're going to gallivant on the town tomorrow night. So that should be a good time. If I see you, apparently I ran into a couple of people when I was at the Jays game. They yelled out my name, but I didn't hear them. So if you see me gallivanting Saturday night, say what's up.
I like that. Happy birthday to Sharif.
Thank you, Adara.
Hopefully you eat lots of eggs. Celebrate it well.
Egg cake. Egg cake. Can you imagine?
A cake that's just all egg. Tell me you wouldn't eat it, Sharif. Tell me you wouldn't enjoy that cake.
Are you kidding
that's
me?
What I'm saying.
I'd eat it for breakfast, Adara.
Right?
Yeah. Who eats eggs for breakfast? Nobody. Thank you guys very much in the chat. I love y'all, man. We're here every day for you guys. I mean, that's the only reason we're here. And thank you so much. I do appreciate the warm wishes from you guys in the chat. I really do appreciate it. No word of a lie about that. All right, let's get back to these markets, baby. Oh, let me remind you, we are 2 minutes away from being able to vote for your segment. This is when you guys have control of what we talk about between 2 to 2:20 every day. So I'm going to be at the big screen. The big kahunas are going to be my right. They're going to be locked and loaded, ready to trade these markets, but they're going to trade and look at, well, they're not going to trade. They're going to look at the tickers you want. So we're going to have the top 5 tickers on the rundown between 2 to 2:20. It's super easy to have your say. You're going to go into the chat. You're going to hit ! join space $, and the ticker you want to talk about. You want to talk about Lucy? We got you covered. You want to talk about Meta, up big, 2.17%? I got you covered. AAPL, 2% on the day, no problem. We have you covered. Go and have your say. You can do it in exactly 1 minute. As soon as the clock hits 1 o'clock, that is your cue to start voting. You can vote from 1 to 150 every day. Have your say on the viewer's choice segment. Adara.
Yeah, like what ticker do you want to see? Do you want the games to not stop? Do you want to go to the theaters with AMC?
Wow.
Do you want to, pay them dollars with PDD? I don't know. AMD?
I saw a couple of good movies coming out in the summer.
Which one?
There's Bad Boys 4.
I keep
Which,
forgetting that.
I don't know. I don't know if it's kind of played out anymore, but
I feel like it definitely is.
yeah.
The fact that you said 4.
Yeah, well, they
I
don't
think
call
an
it that.
answer.
They're
But
calling it
that's the-
something
but
else.
they don't call
Ride
it
or
that.
Die. They're calling it Ride or Die. Yeah, which
They're doing
I
that
find.
because they know it's played out, Sharif.
Exactly, Adara.
exactly what-
I didn't even watch 3. I know it's on Netflix. I haven't
life,
seen it.
right?
Yeah, whatever.
But Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life. Yeah, so Bad Boys, Ride or Die, Bad Boys 4 coming out, AMC. The reason you remind me about that because you said AMC, right? So that should be interesting there. All right, guys, so go ahead, get in the chat right now. Vote for your stock. It's 1 o'clock. The voting is now open, and we want to hear exactly what you have to say. All right, let's get back to these trades over here. Okay, I don't like any of these large caps. Oh, check that. Don't you, though, Neil says. He hasn't said that in a while. I missed that. Yeah, he always used to say that. I think it was your daughter. You used to do that with your daughter a lot, right? Oh, okay. It was a guy on trading floor who did that. Yeah, he did that for a hot minute. Anytime you say anything, he'd be like, don't you, though? Right? Okay, 181. I want to say that general area of 181.95, 182 seems to be a bit of a bottom here on the Zon. We were talking about an established level earlier on Amazon. It seems to have tightened up a little bit now. So it seems to be 182 1/3 to the high side, a little bit below 182, maybe 182, 181.90, 181.95 or thereabouts. So a bit of a range here happening on Amazon. Very consolidated on the day, whether it was earlier or now. I don't mind playing this range here if we're going to slow down, so I'll be looking to get in near that $1/3 of a dollar, $1/4 of a dollar area on the high side and to take that bad boy back down. So that's the trade that I'll be looking at now. Man, Oklo just doesn't stop. Neil, have you seen OKLO today? Man, 2 days in a row, man. Neil's watching Lucy, and we've been talking about Lucy for a hot minute. He's had eyes on it the entire time because it's inching into that dollar. We talked about this. These trades become fundamentally different once they get above and hold above a dollar. But it's just getting to that dollar, breaking above the dollar, and holding the dollar as support that's quite challenging for these names. There's probably going to be a wall of sellers looking to take this short. There's going to be a tug of war between buyers and sellers. There typically is. And a lot of volatility happens at that $1 area. So if you're into that kind of thing and you like these stocks that run 380% on the day, LUCY, baby, that is your ticker. Load up that bad boy. And what I see here is umpteen amount of bounces off the 10-period exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. There has been a love dalliance between the price action today and the 10 EMA there.
A dalliance, I like that. Also, Kate, so I don't want to say I paper-handed PDD because I didn't paper-hand PDD. I might have paper-mache-handed PDD because I wanted to see that 158 break. We broke below 158. I was like, oh, great, yay. Let's see how much further we go. Then we bounced up like massively. We had that move down in the futures, and PDD weirdly popped like 50, 60 cents. So I said, Adara, get out. Took 90 pennies. I don't know why I'm acting like this is such an L. I'm pleased as punch. I'm really proud of what I did. It's just you always wish you could have got more, right? Yeah. But as you said, you're always mad as a trader.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm so proud of myself. I might also get back in. I want to be clear. I don't want this to be a revenge trade, which is why I haven't gotten back in yet. But other than that, and see, I really should have because now we're falling viciously. But, you know, no anger, no FOMO. And the thing is, too, I would have had reason to get back in because we were still below that 9 EMA. We were still failing. But shout out to anybody in this trade. Great look. AM Dizzle.
Can I compliment you on your trade for a second there? And I want to point out one thing also to the viewers, something that Neil and I have been, you know, observing for a while. These ADRs, they really have the bulk of their move early on. Have you noticed how they tend to sell off? You know what I mean?
Oh, the Chinese EVs too.
Yes, and so I love how you took that midday and you really stuck with that short because I feel there is a bit of a bias towards these ADRs selling off a little bit.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I mean, my thing is, too, is it's like, if I see stuff I like, both of these levels, they came before. It was just a matter of taking them. This VWAP projection we had earlier, so I said to Dara, just take it. Could I take it more on it? Sure, but I mean, I was looking at what we did in the book, and I took 50 pennies, so I can't be, you know, too upset about it, right? Then we come here again, and we see this level that we also saw chopping and turning around here earlier. With that wicking tail, I said to Dara, you owe it to yourself to take the trade. So I tried to do it. Please just punch. Happy with how today went, is going so far, other than AMD P&L wise. But I am proud of the trades I made because it's not about P&L. It's about progress and learning. That's what my new P&L is.
Bang.
Not profit and loss, progress and learning. Does it sound like an after school special? Oh, sure. But do I mean it? Oh, yes. So that is my weird thing. Yeah, Peter Nielsen saying, trivia question, has Adara ever not been proud of herself for taking a trade? Several times. The trivia question is, the answer is yes. There have been several times where I have been proud of myself for I've been not proud of myself for taking a trade. That Moderna hot mess, we should call it Mess-derna. That worked better in my head. Yeah, we did a lot. We had to Moderna from that trade because I had Moderna on Wednesday. I was like taking it up, I was taking it down, I was taking it sideways, and it was very revengey and it was very FOMO-y. And so believe me, Peter Nielsen, there have been times that I've not been proud of taking trades, but either way, you always learn, right? So that's what I think is important.
Learn,
Apple, baby. I know you were crunching on some profits here, but now I think this Apple is getting pretty crisp to the downside.
Yep.
Also,
starting to round it top a little bit.
Yeah, I thought you were saying a rounded top, and I was like, oh, like a big, but it is a rounded top.
I don't want to get canceled.
Oh, I thought I meant more like when you like crisp an apple. But yeah, I want to see here what we do. This looks similar to me to AMD, but AMD I have not been reading as well. To be fair, I didn't read Apple great earlier today either, but I do really like this short. And so you know what? We're gonna risk it up into like, let's do like 50s, and I want to get involved here, and I want to take this many shares, and I want to get involved. So we're going to do that. We're also going to take a moment. You know, we have the long weekend. You're thinking about lots of things, but you know what you could be thinking about? Charting. Thank you, Trader TV. Wait, sorry, we're Trader TV. Trade Ideas. Sorry, guys.
Love it.
We are Trader Ideas. No, we're Trader TV Live. And they're Trade Ideas. And we have a special offer from Trader TV Live for Trade Ideas. Did I get it right this time?
Yes.
So, limited time Memorial Day sale. So what you can do is just use that code. Here's the code, TVAnnual28, to save 28% off on an annual subscription. And you could save $598 on your premium annual. But get it soon, because it expires May 31st. We are Trader TV Live. They are Trade Ideas. And shout out to Trade Ideas. Lovely sponsor, the NOS boss. Let's actually look at Crocs. Okay. Because I was just thinking about something that he was looking at today that actually got a nice little pop. I know he swings, but those Crocs were swinging for the skies earlier today. They were like bouncing up. Yeah, he's a swing trader, and their Crocs were just, Volume on this is just above a milli, so I probably will not involve. But look at this kind of bull flag-ish situation. We had that nice 9 EMA, bouncy, bouncy, bounce. Then we rejected pretty viciously. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what we do. But yeah, the Crocs, they were in sport mode to the upside, I'll tell you that. Then we rejected. I want to see if we continue bouncing. But a VWAP bounce could be a nice look there for CROX. Also, I'm just going to get my little Apple set. I'm staying in the Apple short. I like it. I'm going to get my Apple set up here on my side chart so that I can monitor it, see how it's cooking in the oven. And then we will get ready for our lesson, not Neil's lesson of the day, but our lesson for the third time today.
Absolutely, yeah, yes. We're in Oklo now, and we wet our beak on some profits, looking for that move up into HOD. HOD right now is 943. I'm greedy, so I'm waiting at 945. The idea here was to take a dip off the 10 EMA on the 5-minute chart because this has absolutely respected that 10 EMA. There has been no break. I hate saying that because it's going to break on me now. I know I'm going to jinx it. But there has been no break of the 10 EMA since 11:10 a.m. on the 5-minute. That's this double move, double move. Calm down, bro. This double bottom over here right into 852s, and we bounced off that level and we haven't looked back. So I dipped off 930. I'm looking for a new high a day, about 2 pennies HOD above where we are right now to wet my beak on some profits. OKLO has been absolutely on one for the last couple of days to the high side. Whether or not we print at 45s, an entirely different story, but that's where I'm looking right there. Now, you guys know that I don't typically like these small cap gappers below VWAP, and I don't, okay? I won't trade this typically, but let's see if we can make an exception. ONMD has had whatever love affair it's had here with the 50 period on the 5. It danced with it over here. There was no closing basis break and print, or sorry, closing print below the 50 on the 5, and here we go again. Back up the 50 and holding that dang 50. And we're putting in higher highs and higher lows in the process. So a bit of an upward channel, complete disrespect for VWAP, like it doesn't matter. Breaking through it a little bit here, a little bit there. The point is to say it looks as if it's respecting the 50, and so this could be an interesting long. I don't typically take these small cap gappers long south of the volume weighted average price, but this one looks as if it's, giving me something here I typically don't see on these names. So I could definitely be persuaded to weasel a trade on Med. Let's load it up. Let's see what we got here on the book. Let's see what it's showing us on the tape, on the book, and all that other stuff. ONMD. Here it is. All right, let's see what we got. Is there anything here, price action, or on the book at 23s to support? Okay, so there's some size at 22s, not at 23s. I was looking at 23 because that's where the 50 was. So 22s, there's some size. But with these small cap gappers, typically the size is hidden a little bit. Usually the orders come in as hidden orders, and by virtue of that, it pushes them to the back. But I think they're okay with that. All right, flip back to Oklo. We got printed, baby, at 45s. New high a day, $9.49 on OKLO. Now this is 25% in the good. I'm going to reload this, and I'm basically done all the shares that I have on this. I'm going to reload again until this one proves to me that it does not care about the 10 period on the 5, because it has cared for over 2 hours now. And so I'm going to be looking for another dip. What's up?
I just want to clap. That's an amazing trade. Sorry, I was just excited about your trade.
Oh, no, thank you. I appreciate you, Dare. I'm looking for another refill on this one. We'll see if it comes back into the 10 period here. OKLO has been, consistent today in the prints that it's been giving you, Dare.
I'm really happy. Yeah, we started.
One last thing. Sorry to interrupt. Just want to remind everybody to vote. Sorry, for everyone who's done it already, I hate to belabor this, but it's a new segment, so we really have to get this through. From 2 to 220 every day now, we're going to do what you guys want. We'll talk about the tickers that you want to trade, not the ones that we had up in the morning on the morning rundown. So go into the chat, type !join space, the $, and then put it in whatever ticker you want, whether it's Apple, Microsoft, whatever, man. Throw it in there, have Neil and Sean give you their look on it. Maybe they've traded it, maybe they haven't. Maybe they have ideas on it. They're going to tell you, they're going to let you know exactly what they think. So go in there, have your say. We're going to choose the top 5. So the top 5 that make it on there, we'll have Neil and Sean analyze them. You have till 150. You can vote every day from 1 to 150. Otherwise, you don't get your say, Dara. Thank you.
Also, 1 ticker per customer. And Sean and Neil cannot analyze those stocks or those trades if they don't know what they are.
No.
So you got to put them in there, the ones you want. Also, futures got a weird little pop. So did Apple, which is kind of meh. But also, weirdly, I've noticed PDD and the futures are like in opposite moods. So that's really weird when you're trading one stock that's very much behaving in tandem with the futures. That's going to be Apple, the app. And then you've also got PDD, which is kind of doing what it wants to do. Now, why did I get back in PDD? Really small position. I really just wanted to do this because I really like that 158 breakdown still, and I wanted to see it to fruition. Took the smallest position possible. This is less of like a, oh, all the money on the line, like blood, sweat, and tears trade, and more just like you like the idea, so you owe it to yourself to try it out with as little risk as possible type of move. So that's what I did. I could have maybe risked more, of course, but PDD really does love 158, so I think it will take us a while to break it. That's what I'm looking for. Apple, I might get out of Apple before the lesson starts because that PDD I like right now much better than what I'm seeing on Apple. So if we get back to my my entry point here in Apple, I don't like that. We peaked our little head up above that 9 EMA. I don't like that at all. And you know what? Yeah, we're going to probably try to get out of this. What else is everyone looking at here? I want to see what everybody's looking at as we head into this longer-ish week. Not longer-ish, it is just a long weekend. Shout out there. We're just going to get out of Apple flat. Again, not the position of anyone's life here, but I just wanted to be able to focus on the lesson. And then Apple drops a little bit more, so maybe you should have stuck with it. But you know what? I can always maybe try to get back in it after the lesson if it's still holding up. We have PDD. And we have lessons. So let me get my documents all ready to go here. You know what we're going to be talking about today? Yeah, you do, because it's round 3 here, and it's going to be, that's not the slideshow button, there we go. We're going to be talking about combining the measured moves, which has been our theme all week, with other indicators. And so we're going to talk about a couple of different indicators as well that you can combine them with. So the allure of measured moves in intraday trading is undeniable, right? Like we talked about them all week. There's something they can do that can help you figure out your profit, your loss areas, so many different caverns and cavities of trading opportunities and potential can be unlocked with measured move. But successful traders know the importance of confirmation. And that's using multiple tools to validate your analysis. I want to address the thing as well that Sherry was mentioning earlier. You can have a couple things going one way, a couple things going the other way, but you want is the balance of the evidence. So if you've got 2 things telling you to go, maybe a long makes sense, and 3 telling you maybe a short, maybe you want to go with the short. That's what confirmation is all about. It's about the balance of the evidence. Shout out to Sharif. So why does confirmation matter so much? Because I've already been waxing poetic, getting ahead of myself here. Confirmation matters because measured moves, like any indicator on its own, it's only an estimate. It's not a guarantee. The market can be unpredictable. It can be a wild beast, and so you don't want to rely on just one level, so retracement levels in the case of these measured moves. That can lead to costly mistakes. But confirmation from other technical indicators can add confidence to your trading decisions and confluence with your trading decisions. And I mean, who doesn't like confluence? No one in this room.
Obi doesn't like it.
That's the funniest thing
That's
I've
like
ever
the
heard.
most
That is
not
the most,
true thing.
That's distinctly different from the truth, Sharif. That's what that is. That is distinctly
I like
different
that. I like
from
that.
the truth. Got a pun it. Got a pun.
Where's
but
he
yeah,
at?
let's talk about some popular confirmation tools here. So one of them is going to be moving averages. We had a whole week on moving average crossovers last week, so you know these are important. Moving averages, they smooth out price fluctuation, so you reveal the underlying trend hiding beneath. If you've got a measured move, aligning with a trend to identify moving averages, like the price, for example, approaching a support and resistance level established by the moving average, then your signal is going to strengthen. Support and resistance levels are super worth noting here as well. These are areas when the price tends to bounce or stall, and if a measured move retracement coincides with the support and resistance level, it suggests a strong zone for potential entry or exit based on the trend. What about momentum indicators? Who doesn't like momentum? Again, nobody in this room. These will help gauge the speed and the strength of price movement. So if a measured move aligns with the momentum indicator signal, so for example, relative strength index or RSI, indicating an overbought, oversold condition near the retracement level, it will reinforce and strengthen, give you another extra rep of confidence here for the trend continuation or reversal, depending on what you're looking for, whatever floats your boat. Also, here's one example here of support resistance. You got bouncing here on that upper trend line, and then you run into, with your measured move, into that double top. So I think that's kind of an interesting example. Also here, we have another example with the RSI. You have your bounces here, and you have your fib retracements, but you also have some RSI confirmation, which is always nice too, right? You don't, we'll mention later, you don't want to have too many things going on at once, but if you've got a couple things working together, I don't think that's too shabby at all. Let's talk about putting this into practice though. One thing is having an idea. Another thing is using that idea. That made more sense in my head. you want to identify a trend. So use moving averages or price action analysis to confirm an uptrend or downtrend. So first you want to spot the price move. Look for a significant price move within the established trend. But then you've got to actually calculate your measured move. Because there's one thing to talk about the measured move. How do you measure said move? Well, you want to apply a retracement level to estimate a potential support and resistance zone. Then we want to seek confirmation. You always want to look for signals from other indicators that support your measured move analysis. So some examples, upward trend like we just showed you, right? You've got the price making a significant jump or pump or pamp. And the measured move will suggest a retracement to a support level identified by the moving average. That helps you know, if I want to hop in this move, that's where I got to hop in. And then you've got the RSI, that level suggesting oversold conditions, which helps even more. Downward trend also, oh yeah, sorry, I was a slide behind. If a downward trend, what you might want to look for is, like, for example, the price plunging and the measured move suggesting resistance near a previous high. Then you've got the RSI, that level indicating overbought conditions. Well, this combination will strengthen the possibility of a selling opportunity, and you might want to say dampen. But let's go beyond the basics, because that's what we like to do here. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. There never is. You want to experiment with different indicators to suit your specific needs, because much like snowflakes, no two traders are alike, and no two styles are alike, and no two styles are going to work for each trader. So you have to figure out what best suits you. You also don't really want to overcomplicate things either. When I went my first time in the market recap show, after about maybe a couple weeks of trading on the sim, Sean said the one indicator you always need to know is VWAP. And I've really stuck with that. I've added a couple indicators, but you have to figure out trial and error, but don't overcomplicate things. Have a couple indicators that really work for you, and you figure that out through practice. Last but not least, backtest, backtest, backtest. Test your strategy on historical data to see how it performs under various market conditions. You always want to remember that confirmation is not a guarantee of success, but rather a significant reduction potential for the risk of acting on false signals. And with that in mind, with regards to backtesting, you know what lets you backtest and is also having a fun promotion. And I'm going to hopefully say its name right this time. It's Trade Ideas. We are Trader TV Live, and they are Trade Ideas, and they have a limited time Memorial Day sale. All you have to do is use the code TVAnnual28, and you, yes, you, can save 28% on an annual subscription. I sound like I'm auditioning for QVC. So shout out to Lori from Shark Tank if you need another QVC salesperson. But yeah, thank you to Trade Ideas, and lesson
of the day. Thank you very much, Adara. Appreciate that. Guys, as Adara was dropping hot lines, I did play the range on the Zon. The Zon has been ranging 181.90-ish to the low side, 182.25-ish to the high side, okay? And so I did get in super quick. We took 25 pennies on that nicely there as it did dip into that 182.90. I got it at 95s and then wet the beak, the proverbial beak at the highs there, almost at 20. So well, keep an eye on that. I've got my order out again to short the top end of the range. I'm not going to sit at the fifth of a dollar or the third of a dollar. I'm going to sit at, or sorry, the quarter of a dollar, not the fifth or the quarter. I'm going to sit at the third, okay? I'm going to wait for this range to come in here. I could play the 20 penny range. I mean, like right now, if I was sitting at 20s, I'd be 20 pennies in the money that quick. So maybe I should be looking at the 20s. Maybe the quarter dollar. Maybe the third is a little too ambitious. I'm always so frugal. Right, and that always gets me in trouble with trading because you miss entries and exits with that way. Anyway, I'm looking to continue to play the range on AMZN. This was the earlier trade that we had on it. We were able to take a good short and then got stopped out for the rest. So that was a bit frustrating there. And now to trade it profitably is good news. So we'll keep eyes on that. Now I was just talking to Rivian Millionaire in the chat, and I wanna mention this. He was asking me, you know, what do you think of Oklo? You know, is this around for a good time or is it around for a long time? And you always hear me joke and say these small cap gappers, they're around for a good time, not a long time. And the thing about this one is, you know, they do offer the most potential upside. Like if you were to punch, you know, a few hundred shares, I'm just giving you an example on a $9 name, imagine, you know, what it could do, 50, whatever. It has that potential to move in ways that maybe some of these other larger cap names don't. The other side of that coin is, you know, what are the percentage of those names that will move into that territory? That will give you that 500–600% prolonged, 1 or 2 week move, maybe even longer. I would say I don't have the math, but I'm willing to bet it's a very small number. So just by virtue of that fact alone, I don't like to put my hopes into these small cap gappers, even though they provide amazing upside. And on top of that, I think, we could get fooled a little bit with the price action here with these names. And so I want to show this here basically. Like when you look at a stock like Oklo, let's look at it on the half. Is this the one that was doing the rounded bottom? Yeah, that's the one that's doing the rounded bottom. It just took the 200 period on the half an hour. It, did that whole roundy bottom thing. There is a key area of technical resistance here at around 850 that we broke through with no problems. And that's the thing. So you start looking at it technically and you're like, oh, wow, everything checks out here. This looks like it's going to be in play. And then they do an offering. And it's down 100%. It's down 50%. And that's what these guys do. I'm not saying Oklo is going to drop an offering midday and absolutely wash out your position, but it's a reasonable thing to expect. GME did it a few days ago. AMC did it, I think, multiple times when their stock went parabolic. So I don't expect any different, and I just want to point that out there. These are intraday trades only. I can't say I never will, but I don't typically ever want to, bank on these or invest in these or anything like that. Willis Addison, $2 super chat. Cleaned up my ROST, $135 calls, 3 lot over 144.70. Dang, Willis, that's a really good look there. That's getting a like. Let's have a look at exactly what Mr. Willis Addison is talking about. ROST, let's load up that bad boy. So that's Ross Stores. I think they reported yesterday and they did quite well, as you can see by said chart. So shout out to you, Willis, for taking that move. So where is the closing print? Let's do our homework here on ROSS. So the closing print, 132 yesterday, but that was the last time we'd look at that for a while, because today, 145 HOD. It just came into the volume weighted average price and held up at those levels, and now it is back above that whole double level at 144. Keep your eye on this one. It could curl off that VWAP. Now, it's done 4.6 million shares. It's a $144 name, so that's not too bad in terms of volume for the name, and it looks like it's headed back up now. What is the daily look on this? Let's have a look at the daily. See where we can encounter technical resistance. So certainly something to be expected here at the 150 level, no question about that. We had all sorts of resistance at 150, even though there was this candle over here. I'm willing to bet you that this was, what was March 5th? Well, I don't want to say I'm willing to bet you because that may not be earnings. This is probably earnings over here just based on the volume. No, this actually might be earnings. Well, anyway, who cares? We did get into that 157 and a third, but look how quickly we moved back, and we ended up closing at 146 that day. So we give about $10 back. So 150, a key area of technical resistance on ROSS. It's about $5 away from that level based on today's high. So we could be encountering that quite soon. So keep your eye out on 150. It doesn't hold on a strict basis. As you can see from these topping tail candles, they do break, but if you're able to hold this against you for a little bit, possibly maybe through options like Willis did, I think that was really clever. Maybe you can weasel your way into maybe a scalp short there off 150. Let's see when it does come back into that 150 level. Okay, LO just won't stop, guys. And now we took a dip on the 10 period. Look how extended now it's getting away from that 10 period. It's on its way to 10 bucks. 9 3/4 right now is the HOD. It's there right now. Okay, LO. 28 1/3% in the green, Adair.
Yeah, it's so hard not to trade P&L, especially when you're doing well. And it's like, I didn't trade P&L and AMD, and it's like, I kind of wish I should have. Because I'm still in the money on the day. It's just frustrating, man. And I know, like, you're not supposed to trade P&L. Happy I didn't, but also, it's like, that's the biggest thing I find since going live. It's like, you really want to. You really do. But this AMD, I said if we break above 20s, that was a huge area I was watching earlier, then I'll get out. And I got out, and then AMD was like, oh, but jokes, I'm still below 20s. I was like, okay, well, you could have told me that earlier, AMD. Like, that's all I want to know. Don't bamboozle me like that, sir. So I did lose on that trade. That was unfortunate. You just got to keep going, keep pushing, and see what happens. Yeah, this AMD though, I feel like I kind of want to get back in this short now that we've rejected, but I don't want to put myself further into a hole. But it's also like Adara, it's not about the P&L, it's about the memories. No, I'm joking. It's about ideas you like. So I'm going to have to wait and see here. Yeah, 1320 Wolf was saying I looked like I was deep in thought. I was. I had my 2 shorts going on. And PDD, I've noticed, has been moving. When everything else in the futures gets a pop, PDD drops. When everything else in the futures gets a drop, PDD pops. So it's been really hard to short this at the same time as you short literally anything else. I've noticed, because then your emotions are just getting a... So I'm trying to keep the emotions out of the trading. Am I sad that I gave up some of the gains in AMD? Sure. But am I happy I took the trade I liked? I mean, yeah, I think so. It is what it is. You know, I hate saying that, but sometimes it's true. And yeah, I don't know. Still looking at PDD. What's everyone else looking at? Lucy flushing, apparently.
Yeah, it is. It's coming into the 20 on the 5. Good call.
That's what people were saying. Yeah. Oh, okay. I think it'd be interesting to see what we do with the 70-cent area.
Yep.
Look at how, also look at what a bamboozling flat top break that was. These penny stocks are, now you see them, now you don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, in all seriousness, hopefully everyone, proper risk management, hopefully you are not getting chopped up in this stock. And I mean, I think if we bounce at 70 cents, it'll be interesting to see what we do here.
Yeah.
You are the small cap, you know, you have a better read on these sometimes than I do, so I don't know what you're seeing on this, but I think that could be interesting for sure. Yeah.
All right, guys, it's time to annoy you one more time. One more time. I'm sure that even was probably a bit more annoying. Guys, please get your vote in now if you haven't done so already. 2 to 220 is when we put the ball in your court. You decide what we talk about. The big kahunas, Neil, Sean, they're all going to talk about the trades that you want to talk about. So if you want to talk about Apple and its recovery off yesterday's 186 touch, put that in there. If you want to talk about Tesla and the Cybertruck being up 3%, throw that in there. If you want to talk about NVIDIA making all-time highs yesterday, throw that in there. It's super easy. You go to the chat, you hit that exclamation point button on your keyboard. It's shift 1, by the way. You type in join space shift 4, the $sign, I'm just teasing, and then put in the ticker that you want there and have your say. We'd love to be able to actually give you guys what you want. We always decide what tickers to talk about. Now it's your time to shine. You guys can vote until 1:50. I'm trying to open it up so that you can vote for the entirety of the show, but currently it's set up so you can vote between 1 and 1:50. So go into the chat there, have your say, and have the big kahunas cover your trade. Now, LUC, why I want to cover this? Because I absolutely agree with Adara. If 70 pennies holds here, it'll be not only the 10 penny level, but it'll be a technical area of support. We did make our way up there at around 1145, and we did break down, held the 10, but we did break into that 60-cent area. So that tells you that there were sellers waiting at 70. So now we want to see what happens at that level. I'm less inclined to have a dip trade hanging out at 70, okay? Even though I do like it, I want it to prove itself to me at 70 pennies. If 70 doesn't hold, I'm going to be absolutely staring at 60 because that's where the volume weighted average price is, and this thing has not been below VWAP since around 9:40 a.m. this morning. So it's been absolutely, straying away from VWAP and definitely strong on the day. So here comes 70 pennies as we break into 72 and change. I'm all eyes, I'm all ears, I'm all senses at 70 pennies, but I'm definitely looking for a possible break of that level, and if it does, I'm looking at 60, because that's where VWAP is. I definitely will be interested in trading this name if it holds up at the technical level, down below 300%. Ram, what's going on up there? You did. Ram.
The oh no.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, anyway, it's coming into that 70 penny level. If it doesn't hold 70, I'm going to be looking for 60, and that's my say on that. All right, let's have a look at what Oklo is doing, because now, this is looking like the tables might be turning here, baby. 3 topping tail candles now on the 5 on Oklo.
No, I just was like...
So somebody, I don't know who, but somebody's very interested in shorting or profit taking on this name at the $0.75. That's 3 attempts now. It's made into that $0.75 area and put in topping tail candles. Here we go again. It looks like it wants to test it. Key thing is to note, though, that these topping tail candles haven't resulted in lower lows or lower highs. I mean, technically there is a bit of a lower low on that middle candle, but not by much. So I want to start seeing, that rounded top. If we start seeing these topping tail candles, I want to start seeing a rounded top and incrementally lower highs. Definitely, I'll ask Neil definitely to get me some shorts on this name, if they're not available. Let's find out quickly here if it's a pay for short kind of setup. OKLO, not yet, Neil, just because I don't know if I want to short this. Yeah, so it is a pay for shorts kind of setup. On OKLO, they're not free, but I'm definitely watching what we do here at the $0.75, because this is the first time on the day we put in these 3 topping tail candles now. 27% in the green. So, I'm definitely less inclined to want to short a name that's that strong. It'll be a scalp, if anything, guys. I'm not going to be like holding for. Lucy's at 70, says Neil. Thank you for that, Neil. There it is. There's that 70 penny area that we looked at initially as a key area of good price action support. Does it hold this level? It's doing the dance right now. So I'm going to definitely pack my patience and see exactly what we get here. I'm going to wait for a pop-up or a retracement into 60 pennies at view up there.
Yeah, I'm still in PDD. I got back into AMD. This might be an AM disaster. I don't know, but I noticed we're still rejecting off the level I like, so I was like, Tara, try it. And again, like I said, it is so hard. I want to stress so hard to not trade P&L when you are alive and when you're up on the day and you want to keep the profits. But also, it's like the other way to look at it is you could make more profits if your trade's successful. You don't know. All you know is the levels you like. And now I'm realizing maybe this area that I thought was going to give up as support is going to hold as support. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. It's always a little bit disappointing when you're starting to have a really good day and then things kind of like on you a little bit, but that's all the point. The whole point of trading is you're up, you're down, you're all around. You commit to ideas. You see what you like. PDD has done nothing for a little while here, but I still think we're going to get that 158 break. I think we're consolidating for it. If we break above that 158.30s, that was an area I thought was interesting earlier, I'll get out. I might add to it because it's a really small position. I was looking for that breakdown that we kind of never got. And I mean, any position is probably better than this AM disaster that I got into again. So good times, living, laughing, loving life, having a great time. This has been such a fun day, honestly. I feel like my brain has been more on than I thought it was going to be today. So I feel like that's always, bullish energy and making things work.
Man. We just took 30 pennies right now on Amazon as quick as you like. So I have this, we talked about this, 182.30 top. This was the top end of the range, and then the range got a little bit tighter into the 20s, but I left my order there at the 30s knowing that this exactly could happen. Literally top wick on this candle over here, and we wet our beak at 06s, so not technically a 30 penny winner, more like 24. I'm still holding a piece. Let's see if it can break 182. I definitely like that 181.90 level. We wet our beak there on a long at that level, so I'm going to rinse and repeat so long as the Zon is in this zone. Oh.
Is it, or is it in the Zon?
I like it. I like both. Anyway, AMZN is the most consolidative Mag 7 name on the day, in my humble opinion over here. This is the look on Zon on the day. And so we got short 30s, looking for maybe something in the 90 area. AMZN, not having its best day, but, up 0.2%. Who could complain about that? I'll be looking for the break of 182. If it comes in, needless to say, into my area at 182.30s, we're going to cut that. I definitely want that 181 mid-90. So much do I like it. I'm going to cover there. So I'm going to go 181. We're going to go 95s to front run the size a little bit. And there's my beak wetter. If it makes its way down, through the break of 182 and drops 5 more pennies, we'll get covered on that name. All right. Let's cover some other things here. We've been talking about how consolidative the future has been since almost the start of the show. And this candle over here starts at 11:10. So for the entirety of the show, we've had an 18.918 top and an 18,876 bottom. So about 50 points worth of range. That's not bad. That's not bad, but as you can see there, it's been, you know, lower highs, lower lows, a bit of a downward channel, looking awfully bull flaggish here, if I could say so myself. Now, I don't typically use these chart patterns on the future. That's not usually how I trade the future, but one can't help but notice these said patterns. This is on the 5-minute chart too. We're up 1% on the future, so it's not, you know, a counter trend thing here that I'm seeing a bull flag. We'll see if 18.9 gives way to the north side once the big kahunas come on. There's only about, you know, 22 minutes left or so until their show starts. So we'll look at that. TSLA HOD. Tesla curling and holding the 20 period on the 5 like a dang glove. It held it initially here at 11.50 till 12.15, and then the same thing again from 12.55 till it really got away at 1.15. TSLA, higher highs, higher lows, trying to break through that 179.50. It's been a problem for Tesla on the day. We rejected off the $0.50 here initially at 20 after 11, and we're having trouble with it again here, even though we printed above it, 179.58 HOD. It's been a buy the dip kind of day on TSLA, even though we've heard today that the Shanghai Model Y production numbers were down. Obviously, we kind of maybe priced that in a little bit. We've known for quite some time about the Chinese economy's weakness, especially with respect to consumer spending, maybe kind of spurred on by the real estate issues that they have over there. But the market wouldn't know it. Up 3 1/3. What China? What? You know what I mean? So the market has its way of doing its own things, and you can kind of try to gauge it here and there, but you may be wrong. I don't know how to say your name, Jared Lewis. Is the H, is a J silent? I don't know how to say your name. Jared Lewis? Jared Lewis? $2 super chat. Thank you very much, my friend. Adobe, what's your input? Let's go. Oh, we got to wet our beak. And we did, yes.
The way you said wet our beak there was amazing.
Yeah, I was, because I literally got bottom hook again on this. Ooh. Okay, well, not anymore. It keeps going down. Dang it.
That was still awesome.
Yeah, I know. So there we go. That's the end of the Zon trade there. Trading range, baby. 182.30 to the high side, 181.95 to the low side. But enough about that. Let's have a look at Adobe for our friend. What is that loud thing? I don't understand what that means. Okay, let's have a look at ADBE. Here we go. So this is the daily on Adobe. We know Adobe's off highs as of late. You got the death cross, by the way, on the daily chart with the exponential moving averages. That happened around April 15th. And since that time, we've been kind of consolidative at that level. And you got the golden cross back on May 31st of last year. Early June, late May, can't really tell, okay? Now, let me tell you something. From a fundamental perspective, I'm hearing a lot about people coming with AI-generated software that's undercutting Photoshop and some of their platforms. So apparently, there's all these companies that are coming out now that are actually competing with each other that are Adobe Photoshop substitutes. That hurts, because this is a margin business. Software margins, we know, are in the 68, sometimes even higher %. When you start playing the margin game and undercutting, it becomes a race to the bottom. Who can cut their margins the most? I don't like that for Adobe. We'll have to wait and see. I know that they have a bigger moat than that, but you know, that's what I've been reading and hearing a lot lately. It's definitely counter market off the top there, and at the lows, we lost about, what was that? About 28% there at the lows off the top that we printed in early Jan. So this is down definitely year to date on Adobe. Let's go ahead and have a look at the wider time frame over here. Do we have any key areas of technical support? So I'd say that 450 looks awfully good. If we continue to head down off this 485, that 450 is interesting. It takes us all the way back to the level, the peak there, from, I believe, August of 2022. Yeah, we haven't been at these levels in quite some time, to be quite honest with you, on Adobe. Since June of last year, so it's almost been a minute since a year, excuse me, since we've been back at these levels. Let's have a look at the 4-hour here on Adobe. All right. So 200 period rejection on Adobe initially there, and we haven't been at the 200 period since March. Wow, that's been a hot minute since we've been at the 200 period on Adobe. And when we got there, it did reject. We've been straddling the 50 since initially since the beginning of this month. So it's been a month now of sideways kind of action here on Adobe. Below 500. You have the 200 period as well, just a smidge below 500. Look, I got to tell you, the trend is your friend. I don't see anything catalyst positive for Adobe right now. In fact, I kind of see the opposite. I just finished talking about it. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's not for me as a long, but I don't know whether you're looking long or short. That's my analysis on it, Adair.
Thank you, Sharif, and thank you, Julius, for the super chat.
Ram says Adobe is king.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like Adobe
Production
Premiere
team.
Pro. Yeah, shout out to our fabulous production team, always killing it.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. Those
Okay,
are
so
like
casual threats there coming
yeah.
from.
She's just threatening us openly there in our ear, you know. I love it. I love it. We love Ram though.
Shout
So
out
it's all
to
good.
Ramin.
Yeah.
But AMD doesn't get a shout out because
I'm sorry.
I mean, actually, it's my fault. I just know I've been reading it, and yet I am in it, so I don't know. But we're good. We got this. AMD. I wanted to see the decisive break above 166.20, and I guess now I've seen it, so I need to get out. I think I just kept clunging. I clung on. I keep clinging / clung on to this idea, and I shouldn't have. And it is always unfortunate when you go from being up on the day by a decent amount to being down on the day by a decent amount. But you know what is not bad? Sticking to your ideas, going with your gut, and trying to make it happen. Because that's how all trades are made. Trying to make things happen. You know what I mean? I think that's really important. And so I know I'm saying nothing like super insightful here, but that's really, you know, okay, and buy PDD too. Okay, nice. Living my best life over here in these markets. I want to see what we do here at 40s. I might add to this position. But yeah, it is, you know, it's always a little bit hard when you're doing well and you kind of give some of that back. But that's why you're not supposed to trade P&L, right? Because of course, and I appreciate someone in the chat was saying, like, you know, the whole point of trading is profit. I agree, but how do you know how to make profits if you don't know how to take losses? And I think that's hugely important as well. If I'm only trying to cling to whatever profit I make and then I completely cut myself off to any other ideas, then you're still cutting yourself off to ideas. Do you know what I mean? So I think that makes sense. I think that's important. Reasons are Avid and Black Magic. So Adobe stuff going on in the chat. Shout out to our production team. I'm adding to PDD here. I liked that little rejection that we had. And I like this 158.22. I went short 159.22 initially on that first short here. So I like this. Was my AMD an AM disaster? Should I have stayed away from it after those first couple trades? Sure. Did have some positive trades on it, but clearly my read on it wasn't great. Someone earlier was asking too, is Apple a short? I think, yeah, sorry, I missed this a little bit. I think it was. I tried to short this earlier. As you can see, just ended up getting out flat. I think you wait for that 9 EMA rejection, and then you kind of have some opportunities. You want to get involved as the knife falls. I think you want to get involved when the knife gives you an opportunity to get up, and then you go down. That was not English, but I tried. NVIDIA, some people are looking for here as well. Oh, flat top break, 1050. Look at this.
Jadera, I know it's distorted on your chart there because of all the dark pool wicks.
I like this
Ram, go back to that. But those are higher lows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this NVIDIA looks like it's trying to break to the upside. What a nice look here for N to the V, to the D, to the A. What are you looking at?
And you realize that's at 1050 level, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I said that.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I didn't hear it because I just came. So.
It's okay.
But yeah, wow, 1050 ascending wedge, baby. Oh boy. If Obi was here, he'd be saying, oh boy, I think. Is he here? Oh, Neil said it for him, so it's all good. Yeah, this is definitely distinctly different over here. And the fact that we broke above 1050 in the pre, to me, is really it's not dissuading me from feeling like this is a legitimate top, because we know what we talk about when what we've said about breaking key levels of technical resistance in the pre on lower volume. There is a propensity for those moves to fade. So you got a little bit of that today when this dipped into 30. So anyway, right now, this is a rinse and repeat level. Wow, whoever took that 1050 short You're $1.50 in the money. So maybe we should be looking at NVDL here because I won't trade NVDA on the show. I will trade NVDL though. So let's load up that bad boy and see if we can bamboozle another possible top. Okay, quickly, I just want to digress a second here. Double bottom right now at 70 pennies on Lucy. So that came in, held up, moved to 78, and it's holding again. So interesting technical area of support on Lucy there. Let's flip now. Dang it. Take off Amazon and load up NVDL. Here it is. So now what's the price action area on NVDL? It happens to be $52.40. I would submit to you that is the equivalent level of $1,050 on NVDA. The equivalent level on NVDL should be around $52.40. That's owing to the exact area tops that we have on NVDL as we do on NVDA. And as you can see, retracing off that level now give you a nice 15-penny dip. But it is right back there again to test 1050. And if I had my guess, and that's all that it is, a guess, this is an ascending wedge with higher lows. That typically means buyers are incrementally overwhelming sellers, and it's just a matter of time until that 1050 level goes. It may not be today, but you know, likely to see that come into focus again, Adara, in the near future. So we'll look at that. Now, sorry, I didn't mean to send it to you. I really want to look here at 70 pennies on Lucy, because this held up. And when this came in initially over here, Neil yelled over to me, and he's like, Lucy's at 70 pennies. That's the level Adara identified as that key area of price action support owing to that initial top. You're the one who identified it, girl, not me.
Well,
that
I'm
was
just happy it came back to us. It's always crazy when you identify something and it does what you think it will.
On a small cap gapper, too, look. Right? So, yeah, because you always say, right, I don't like trade these. And then there you go, Dara. But there we go. I'm going to keep my eyes to see if 70 holds up here or whether we're incrementally making lower highs, because we're doing that as well. So the initial top there, 97 pennies. Then we get into 92, and that's not good. And then 90. And then over here at 79. So it's been lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Sorry. So I want to see if we hold up here and maybe make a move off 70 pennies. I'm packing my patience. Oh, Paula Beckford, look at Meta, please. Absolutely, Paula. That was polite, and I will absolutely do that for you. I think she tagged you earlier, but you know, you were busy. Yeah, well, I mean, can you blame him? You're trading. Guys, Meta's been very consolidative since that big move up into 479, 480. And here's what I like. The price action shows you it's consolidative. But when you have so many false crossovers on the 10 and the 20, it just kind of adds to your bias that this is not a trending stock, and you're either going to have to range trade this or stay away from it, because it's not going to break up or break down currently, right? The more liquid time of the day, when the big kahunas come in, that could change things. But right now, it's locked within a range. I'm going to go ahead and say, Paula, that 475 and a third, a quarter to the low side, and then about 477 to the high side, and at times you're going to have to pack your patience at 477, because you see what this candle did over here. It came into that third of a dollar. So 475 and a half and a quarter to the downside, 477 to the high side. Paula, I'd play it as a range. I wouldn't try to take a break to the high side or the low side currently on Meta. That could come later, though. And it's been strong. It's 2% on the day. It was up higher, though, Paula. It was well over 3% at the highs. So I'll keep an eye out on that. Let's flip back to LUCY. Okay, so Lucy did give way at 70. And so when I said that this was a lower high, I really meant that. So now let's look out for, well, initially it was 60, but VWAP could have moved. Let's look now to see where the WAP is hanging out. It's over here. It's above 60 now. It's at almost 62. Kind of in between here, 61.5, 62-ish area. I want to see what it does around this level. I'm not going to have an order hanging out at VWAP. I need to see it prove and bounce off that level. Otherwise, I don't want any of the smoke on Lucy.
Yeah, I don't want any of the smoke, period. So I do understand your want to not have smoke. Because sometimes that smoke can be great, and other times that smoke is in your eyes. And
do you want to mention the story? Because you kind of just are right now.
I've alluded to it there. Yeah, basically, so the reason I am slightly tired today, is there was a little fire-related situation at my house last night. Everyone is alive. Everyone is all good. The house will be smoke-filled for the next month, they think, around, because that's how much smoke was in there. And it was very late at night, and we had to, like, obviously leave the house so the people could get in and stuff. So, yeah, that is why we keep making those jokes about wanting all the smoke today. So that is, yeah, that's the truth there. But shout out to everybody.
But she had a lot of other ancillary stories that were connected to this story that were very funny. You don't have to share them if you want to because they're personal, but they were very funny. Anyway,
that's my thing. Like, something can happen like that, and I mean, you still have to find the humor and stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's why, like, I'll tell my little puns in the market.
Sure.
Because, you know, things can be very serious. I take trading very seriously. But also, if you want a pun, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong in finding the humor in a situation. And so I appreciate you bringing that up. And yeah, that is the truth. That is what's happening. And that is why I had to laugh at the I want all the smoke. Bears versus Bulls comment of the day. Sounds like me cooking. Yeah, I mean, I wish these Tesla's actually cooking right now, so please just punch. I got involved in this trade. I thought, hey, this could not work out, but also it could work out, which I guess is what everyone says every time they trade anything. But I liked this bounce here. Let's break higher. I have cheese. I want that. I want all of that cheese. Also, PDD. I'm still in the short. It's kind of doing nothing, but I still have no reason to leave, so I'm staying in. And I'm in Tesla, and I'm having a good time. What's everyone looking at here?
The Mr. Incredible Dr. Liv, that killed me. That killed me because it's a little, yeah, it's funny.
Kind of morbid, but I like it.
You want to read it out?
Yeah. You've been begging for all the smoke. Finally got it. LOL. Yeah, I got it in spades. That's for sure. But yeah, shout out to you, Incredible Mr. Lib. Hope your day and your trading has been incredible. Down goes Lucy, apparently. Let's look at.
Say bye?
Oh, right. Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, guys, from 1 to 150, we have a new segment. It's too late to vote now, but next time on Monday, you can vote. Hopefully, we're trying to open up the voting a little bit more, but you're going to be able to vote for the takers that you want Sean and Neil to cover between 2 and 220. Just throw it in there in the chat. It's exclamation point. I'm going to show you for next time. It's closed now, but this is what it looks like. Exclamation point, join Ram, and then space, $, and the ticker that you want every day. Now from 2 to 220, you are going to have your say. So make sure if you didn't vote this time that you're going to vote next time. I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, thank you, Sharif, for getting to sign off there. And happy early birthday to my fellow purple wearer today. And shout out to, Trended Tickers also wishing you happy birthday there too. So, yeah, shout out to Sharif. Shout out to Lucy. Let's take a look at LUCY. And yeah, honestly, this level is holding up, but I think we should be aware of the fact that we're seeing lower highs. I don't want to say flat bottom break. However, I do think if we have a breakdown here, especially given how well this resistance and the support was kind of dancing, I think this breakdown could be kind of interesting. We are not in on Monday, Paul Blackford, because the market isn't in on Monday. But you know what? We're going to be here on Tuesday, so you can see us then. Hope you guys all enjoy your long weekend. I think that could be, really interesting look. What other things do people want to look at? Someone mentioned NVAX way earlier, but I just realized I kind of forgot about NVAX. So let's face the NVAX and look at NVAX. Okay. So we had that nice pop up here, 1595s. We bounce off VWAP, make a lower high, come back down. I don't know. It's interesting because we are holding support here around 1555s, but we're still below VWAP. I think there could be something happening here, and I think NVAX needs to decide which direction it would like to go. Does it want a shot in the arm to the upside, or does it want to inoculate itself here, against upside moves, go to the downside? We need to figure out what's going to happen here. Q is going to pump, says Rares Mayonescu. Let's see what looks here. Okay, that's interesting. That is interesting because we had a lower high. We had that very bearish looking candle, but then we made a higher low. Now we're trying to pop up here. I mean, this could be a really interesting look if we do pop here in the Qs. The Q level also that we kept dancing with here, 458.85. So this could get really spicy. We're, brushing up against that, nudging it like how the cat nudges its owner to pet it more. That's what we're doing here in the Qs at that level. So that could get very interesting indeed. NVIDIA. So we for totally, this flat top break, I was mentioning that 1050 flat top break. And you know what NVIDIA did? 1050, flat top broke. Now getting into that $1,053 here. Paula Blackford saying your fave AMD is about to move. Oh, I spent way too much time in AMD today. That was a monster. But look at this. I don't know because we struggled with that 40 area here earlier. We struggled with the 70 here earlier. I think AMD might really take its time to crack that shell. AMD likes to mess with your brain a little bit today. So let's find out what happens. Let's see how this goes. So I'm mentioning a short in Tesla. I'm long on Tesla, but I'm not going to be in here for much longer, pun sort of intended. I don't trade beyond the midday session. I really just like this Tesla heading into the day because I wanted to take a trade that I really liked after being really bamboozled on AMD, pretty much all of which was just my own fault. I was being very stubborn, and I just wasn't listening to what the market was telling me. And that's my bad. Took some great trades in it, took some not great trades on it, and it's all good. Tesla, though, I did like this look, so I didn't want to stop myself from getting involved. We're going to get out here at 67s because, yeah, please just punch. There we go. Thank you. Also, what else are we looking at here? Thank you, Daryl Flint, saying appreciate that. He said he's going to short if it nears 180, preferably 182, but I'll take a baby short in front of 180. Still strong today. Oh, yeah, Tesla's still strong today. We're still strong today. Hope you guys are still strong today. The market's been strong today. What a look. J-Blue. Okay, that's one we don't hear about a lot. Thank you, Daniel T. Pulling now J-Blue. Oh, okay, this J-Blue support is massive here at 536. Be aware, right now we do just have this topping tail candle coming in on the 5-minute, and we have a lower high, so that's something worth noting. Like, hopefully J-Blue sees jet blue skies to the upside here on its little airplane, but we're not really sure yet. I think this topping tail candle is something to note. I think also the fact we rejected into that 542 where we had some chop and churn could be interesting, but right now we're going to chop and churn and make a transition over to the green screen and the big desk. Hope you guys had a great week. I had so much fun here, learned a lot, always happy to be here trading, but we're always as well happy to see what Sharif's up to in the green desk. See you guys next week, same bad time, same bad channel.
Hey guys, yes, welcome to the segment where you choose what we talk about every day from 2 to 2:20. We're going to be looking at the tickers that you vote for, so make sure